visit nyc.gov.
Hello, this is New York City Public Advocate Letitia James. There are millions of seniors living in New York City who deserve to live out their golden years in comfort. Unfortunately, we've seen too many instances of elder abuse, such as emotional, physical, sexual abuse, or theft. If you think that you or someone you know is a victim of elder abuse, please call the New York City Department for the Aging's Elderly Crime Hotline at 212-442-3103 or 311. If a senior is in immediate physical danger, please call 911. Thank you.
This is New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer. As New Yorkers, we know that diversity makes us stronger, not weaker. The truth is, immigrants help power our city's economy. They earn $100 billion in income, pay billions in taxes, and own more than 83,000 small businesses. We all have a responsibility to stand up and protect our neighbors, and that starts with being informed. To read my report on how immigrants contribute to New York's economy, visit www.comptroller.nyc.gov.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311.
Hello, I'm First Lady Shirlane McCrae. 1 in 5 New Yorkers has a mental health problem. Do you or someone you care about have trouble with stress, depression, anxiety, drugs, or alcohol? Don't struggle alone. NYC Well is here for you. It's free, confidential, and available at any hour of the day. To connect to a counselor, just text WELL to 65173. Chat online by visiting our NYC Well website or call 1-888-NYC-WELL. That's 1-888-NYC-WELL.
Hi, I'm Joe Esposito, Commissioner of New York City Emergency Management. Have you been notified? Notify NYC, the city's free emergency notification system, gives you real-time updates on emergencies in the 5 boroughs. It's the information that you need the way you want to receive it. Visit nyc.gov/notify or call 311 to register. You can also follow us on Twitter at NotifyNYC. Get notified today.
We are everywhere street homeless New Yorkers are. We are out 24/7, 365 days a year.
In every borough.
And we're committed to finding every person living on the streets.
Stability and permanent housing can be a reality.
But it can take anywhere from 1 to 200 contacts to bring someone indoors.
It's not easy, but changing lives never is.
If you see someone in need, please call 311 or use the 311 app.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311 or visit nyc.gov.
This is Manhattan Borough President Gail Brewer. The Department of Sanitation can collect a valuable resource from your building. Food scraps and other organic waste can be collected if you separate that waste, just like you do now for paper and plastics. The collections are voluntary, so ask your building's management if they'll apply. The Department of Sanitation will provide the brown bins to your super. Sign up online at on.nyc.gov/request-organics and help make New York greener.
Hi, I'm Roy Mogolansky, Executive Director of the City of New York Office of Payroll Administration. City employees, did you know that when you sign up for the WageWorks Commuter Benefits Program, you'll save money on your commute to work by having funds set aside from your paycheck before taxes are taken out? So you'll pay less in taxes, up to $1,200 a year if you take mass transit alone, and up to $2,400 if parking is part of your commute. Visit getwageworks.com/NYC.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311.
Do you have a disability? Have family, friends, or loved ones that have a disability? Well, this summer, it's time to celebrate. I'm Victor Calisi, Commissioner of the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities, and I'm inviting you to come march with us at New York City's 3rd Annual Disability Pride Parade, Sunday, July 9th at 11 a.m. from Union Square Park to Madison Square Park. An excellent lineup of music, great food, and a ton of fun. Free registration available now, nyc.gov/disabilitypride, nyc.gov/disabilitypride.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311 or visit nyc.gov.
Now, here's an important message from the New York City Mayor's Office.
I'm Victor Calisi, Commissioner of the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities. Traveling around the city can become a challenge when drivers fail to follow basic parking rules. Parking spaces designated for people with disabilities ensure equal access to goods and services. Parking without a permit in a designated space or using a fake permit is illegal. For more information, dial 311.
Hello, this is New York City Public Advocate Letitia James. My office serves as a direct link between everyday New Yorkers and city government. Think of it as a watchdog that provides oversight of city agencies, investigates citizen complaints about city services, and makes policy recommendations. If you are in need of assistance, please call my office at 212-669-7250 or email us at gethelp@pubadvocate.nyc.gov or call 311.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311.
Hi, I'm Greg Bishop, Commissioner of the New York City Department of Small Business Services. Here at SBS, we open doors to opportunity for all New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. Our department is focused on creating stronger businesses, connecting New Yorkers with good jobs, and fostering thriving neighborhoods. So, if you are looking for a job, want to start or grow your business, or hope to strengthen a commercial corridor, please visit www.nyc.gov/SBS or call 311 for more information.
I'm New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer. As Comptroller, I know that our city's finances are complex, but that doesn't mean they should be unreadable. Today, transparency in government is more important than ever, and that's why my office publishes the Popular Annual Financial Report, a 25-page document which simplifies the city's finances in easy-to-understand ways. For a copy of the Popular Annual Financial Report and to learn more about the city's finances, call 212-669-3916 or visit www.comptroller.nyc.gov.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311 or visit nyc.gov.
This is Donna Corrado, Commissioner of the New York City Department for the Aging. In this city, we look out for each other. We're our sisters and brothers keepers. During these cold weather months, I ask that you reach out to your elderly neighbors and friends. Remaining active, engaged, and socially connected improves one's quality of life. It also reduces the risk of chronic disease, dementia, and premature death. If you're lonely, anxious, or depressed, and you want help, call 1-888-NYC-WELL or 911 in an emergency.
This is Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams. Did you know that overuse of emergency rooms in the United States wastes about $38 billion each year? If you have a life-threatening condition, go to the ER or call 911. However, if you have a minor issue such as a cut or a cold, visit a local urgent care facility, your primary care doctor, or a local health clinic. Leave the emergency room free to those who really need it. You'll be saving time and money in the process. Know the difference and avoid the wait.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311.
Hi, I'm Carmelyn P. Malalis, Commissioner and Chair of the New York City Commission on Human Rights. New York City's greatest strength is its diversity. The New York City Commission on Human Rights enforces one of the strongest human rights laws in the country and fights every day to protect all New Yorkers from discrimination and harassment. No one in New York City should feel unsafe or threatened because of their background, belief, or identity. If you feel you've experienced discrimination, please call the Commission on Human Rights at 718-722-3131.
9,000 volunteers mentor high school students in our city. But with 300,000 high schoolers, we need more mentors. Not tutors or teachers, but personal champions. People to listen, share their life experience, and help them succeed. You don't need to have all the time in the world or all the answers. You just need to care. Be a high school mentor. Visit nyc.gov/service to be a mentor in your community today.
This is New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer. As New Yorkers, we know that diversity makes us stronger, not weaker. The truth is, immigrants help power our city's economy. They earn $100 billion in income, pay billions in taxes, and own more than 83,000 small businesses. We all have a responsibility to stand up and protect our neighbors, and that starts with being informed. To read my report on how immigrants contribute to New York's economy, visit www.comptroller.nyc.gov.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311.
Hello, I'm First Lady Shirlane McCray. 1 in 5 New Yorkers has a mental health problem. Do you or someone you care about have trouble with stress, depression, anxiety, drugs, or alcohol? Don't struggle alone. NYC Well is here for you. It's free, confidential.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the colors by the FDNY Ceremonial Unit Color Guard.
Detail 10 Hut.
Please remain standing for our national anthem to be sung by firefighter Regina Wilson.
Detail and salute.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, two.
Please remain standing for the invocation to be delivered by FDNY Chaplain, the Reverend Ann Cansfield.
Please bow your heads.
Upon entering the department, each member of the FDNY solemnly promises to protect life and property in the city of New York. You experience good days and terrible days, but each day you come to work and live out your promise, responding to the most urgent of prayers: help me. It's easy to say that you're just doing your job. But your job is a most sacred one. As we begin this day of celebration, I invite you to reflect on the impact that you have made in the lives of others. Now, this is actually going to require that you raise your head. It's okay. Please raise your hand if someone is alive because of actions you have taken. Raise them higher. We need to see them. Look around. Look around. Guys, I know people are alive because of you. Look around and think of all the future generations of people who will become parents and grandparents because of what you did. Okay, you can put them down. The best job in the world is also the most sacred job in the world. And God often speaks in a still small voice. But today, that voice says, "Job well done." May God bless you and keep you and be with you always, now and forever. Amen.
Retire the colors. Please be seated.
Detail at ease.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Captain Mark Guerra. I'm the Executive Officer to the First Deputy Commissioner, and it is an honor to serve as the Master of Ceremonies on such a proud day for this department. On behalf of Mayor Bill de Blasio, Fire Commissioner Daniel Nigro, Chief of Department James Leonard, our staff chiefs, union officials, executive staffs, and elected officials, I would like to welcome you all to today's 2017 FDNY Medal Day ceremony. A special welcome to all of today's medal winners. You make us proud. We are also honored to have with us a number of medal donors, as well as the families of our medal recipients who are joining us here today. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, the Mayor of the City of New York, Bill de Blasio.
Good morning, everyone. This is a day of celebration. It's a day of appreciation. And it was very striking to me a moment ago when Reverend Cansfield asked these good men and these good women who had saved lives to simply raise their hands. And you saw the modesty and the humility. People who had done something so glorious, so extraordinary, and yet were shy, if you will, about claiming that glory. That makes the glory even greater. That these individuals put their lives on the line, saved lives, as Reverend said, allowed those future generations to live. They're not taking out a billboard to celebrate themselves. They're modest. They believe it's part of the job, it's part of what they were put on this earth here to do. That's something that makes all of us so proud of everyone who will be awarded today and of all the men and women of the FDNY, that commitment that is so pure, so real, so intense. It doesn't require fame to reinforce it or validate it. It's in the hearts of these good men and women. That is something to celebrate, don't you think? I want to thank all the leadership of the FDNY that is present, Commissioner Nigro and Chief Leonard, all the leadership here. I also want to thank those who represent the men and women of this department, who represent them in labor and look out for their interests every day. Gerard Fitzgerald of the UFA, Oren Barzilay of the Uniform EMTs, paramedics, and fire inspectors, Vinny Variali of the UEMSO, John Sullivan of Superior Officers, and Faye Smith of the Fire Alarm Dispatchers. We thank all of them for their leadership. I also want to welcome our public advocate, Tish James, and thank her for her support. This is the 148th year that we gather for Medal Day. There's no one alive on this earth who remembers the first Medal Day. This is a tradition that goes back generations and generations. And what's so extraordinary is there have always been good people who answered the call of duty and were worthy of these medals. A century and a half of unbroken tradition. And now a new generation has come forward, and they prove, no matter what the glories of the past, this new generation is doing things even far beyond the imagination of those who came before them. We honor today and celebrate their achievements, and we also reflect on those we've lost, their heroic acts, their sacrifice. And it's been a tough year. We lost Chief Michael Fahey, who served for 17 years and was such an outstanding leader in this department and bound for even greater leadership. We lost Yadira Arroyo, who served for 14 years and showed us spunk and determination in all she did. We lost William Tolley, who served for 14 years and was beloved by those he served with. And we lost someone who we laid to rest just days ago, but whose ideas and spirit and inspiration are going to live on for a long, long time. I'm talking about firefighter Ray Pfeiffer. Ray Pfeiffer reminds all of us why we commit ourselves to helping others, and I know he has a particularly inspirational impact on the men and women of this department. It's not just what Ray did in the months after 9/11 in the rescue and recovery. It's not just that he suffered for all he tried to do to help others, and particularly to search for his fallen comrades. It's that despite the pain that he suffered constantly, he went to Washington, D.C. to make sure that no one else would be deprived of the health care and the support they deserve. And he led the charge. Even when confined to a wheelchair, he led the charge. He led by example. His strength of personality, his commitment. Literally, he willed that extension of the Zadroga bill into action. And he showed us something that we all need to remember in our everyday lives. When you're trying to do good for other people, don't take no for an answer. Don't let anyone tell you something's impossible. Ray never thought it was impossible. And what a blessing that he lived long enough to see the victory that he was the author of. Now, looking to this department today, 2016 was an extraordinary year for the FDNY. the largest decrease ever in serious fires and fire-related deaths. Again, this generation of the FDNY doing things that are so extraordinary, setting records for saving lives. It is about their skill and their dedication. It's about the quality of their training. It's about their leadership. But this department gets better all the time. And today we get to honor 62 individuals who did things that are just plain heroic. There's no other word for them. Defying danger, achieving against all the odds. It's a very good day for New York City. We get to celebrate these good people. And each one of them has a powerful story. Each one of them is so worthy of this award. But I have to highlight one because it's so almost impossible to believe. And I had the great pleasure of spending time with this individual in the aftermath of this extraordinary rescue. I'm referring to firefighter James P. Lee, Jr. of Rescue 1. I want to recount for you, I think a lot of people here know the story, but it's worth remembering. Last October, 6-alarm blaze at an apartment building in the Upper East Side. An elderly man in his 80s, trapped on the top floor, nowhere to go but out the window. No chance of survival if he stayed in the apartment, or most likely no chance of survival if he jumped, and only seconds left. And that's when firefighter Lee decided to do something very risky but very necessary, a rope rescue. Couldn't even see through the smoke. He found his way to the elderly man by following his screams. And he pulled him out, rappelled down the side of the building, saved the man, and seconds later, the rope burned through. It's almost an impossible story. It's something they couldn't even make up in Hollywood, but it actually happened. And the old man said, when he was asked afterwards what he felt in those last seconds, he thought he was about to die, and then he said, it seemed like an angel emerged from the smoke. And that angel, my friends, was Jimmy Lee. Congratulations, Jimmy. So I'll conclude with a thanks. Congratulations to all the honorees, but a thanks to all the men and women who serve us. This is a day that everyone celebrates together, and 8.5 million people are reminded on this day that we in this city, we couldn't do anything without you. And what you do so well. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next, we will hear from our Commissioner, Daniel Nigro.
Well, good morning and congratulations to all of the men and women whose brave actions we honor today. And a very special welcome to the two families here with us. First, the loved ones of our honorees whose support make their difficult work possible. And to our FDNY family, the firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, fire marshals, and officers who have mentored, trained, and worked alongside our medal recipients as they perform the outstanding, heroic work we honor today. Today, we celebrate New York's bravest. That name has been synonymous with our department for as long as anyone can remember, and for good reason. The reputation of bravery has been gained through unwavering dedication and service to the millions of people who live in our city and to all those who come here each day to visit and work. And that reputation has been earned through the sacrifice of 1,147 of the greatest people to ever wear the FDNY uniform, including Deputy Chief Michael Fahey, Emergency Medical Technician Yadira Arroyo, and firefighter William Tolley. Bravery is displayed day in and day out by our members. The job they perform is dangerous. The training they receive is second to none. And the responsibility each FDNY member takes on when they respond to the thousands of calls they receive each day is enormous. A fire, a medical emergency, a patient trapped in a confined space, stuck high above the city streets, or fighting to survive in the water. No matter the situation, when New Yorkers call for our help, FDNY members respond quickly and with one goal: to save lives. On this day, we gather and honor the most remarkable of those life-saving rescues, acts of valor which represent the very greatest traditions of our department. We honor firefighter James P. Lee of Rescue Company 1, recipient of the James Gordon Bennett Medal, and the New York State Honorary Fire Chiefs Association Medal for his daring roof rope rescue described a moment ago by our mayor. But nothing happens in the FDNY without strong teamwork, which is why we also award medals to firefighter Andrew Hawkins of Ladder 43 and firefighter William McGarry of Ladder 26 for their critical roles in this rescue. And while our members respond to countless calls they have prepared for, they often find themselves in situations they never imagined, like EMT Ryan Greff of Station 4. Ryan subdued a knife-wielding individual who was attempting to stab another person, and for his bravery, he receives the Christopher J. Prescott Medal. Ryan is one of several EMS members whose brave actions went well beyond providing medical care. We honor EMT Monique Wilson of Station 43 with the Chief James Scullion Medal for saving a drowning person during a severe storm off Coney Island, and Lieutenant Craig Roeder of Station 45 with the Ulysses Grant Medal for evacuating a family from a fire in their home. Truly, bravery comes in many forms in our department, including removing a dangerous arsonist from the streets, as Fire Marshal Peter Lindell Jr. did. Peter receives the Deputy Commissioner Christine R. Godick Medal for his outstanding work. And we see the extraordinary dedication to saving others that defines our department in the recipients of the World Trade Center Memorial Medal, Ladder Company 28, for their tireless efforts to rescue 4 people from a high-rise fire that had filled multiple floors with smoke. I am extremely proud of each of you for your remarkable acts of bravery. You have all gone above and beyond to keep our citizens safe. Thank you for your dedication, for your preparedness, and for your commitment to this department and to the department's life-saving mission. And thank you for ensuring that the FDNY continues to be the best it can be, the greatest fire department in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We will now commence with the presentation of the medals. I will ask the ceremonial officer to escort the mayor, the fire commissioner, and the chief of department to the area in front of the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, our first medal is the James Gordon Bennett Medal and the New York State Honorary Fire Chiefs Association Medal, awarded to firefighter James P. Lee, Jr., Rescue Company 1, outstanding. On the night tour of October 27, 2016, firefighter James Lee of Rescue 1 was assigned the roof position. At approximately 3:30 hours, the company was assigned to Manhattan Box 1219 to a fire in a 5-story multiple dwelling. Firefighter Lee made his way to the roof via exposure 2 and observed fire blowing out to the shaft, with the roof and the bulkhead of exposure 4 on fire. Conditions were deteriorating when firefighter Lee heard a radio report from Rescue 1's chauffeur that a man was trapped and would require a life-saving rope rescue. A civilian had shown at a top-floor window. Firefighter Lee established contact with the victim as heavy smoke vented out over the man's head. He told him to stay at the window. Inside the fire building, interior hose lines could not make it past the second floor due to the extreme fire conditions, making any attempt to reach the victim from the interior impossible. Unbearable conditions forced the victim to disappear from the window a few times. The victim stated he was within seconds of jumping. Firefighter Lee climbed over the fence at the edge of the roof and positioned himself to be lowered to the trapped victim. The victim's yells served as a beacon for Firefighter Lee, who operated in zero visibility. The man was crouched below the windowsill, with fire lapping out over his head. Using all of his strength, Firefighter Lee reached into the window and got one arm around the victim's back and under his knees. The man could not hold onto Firefighter Lee due to cuts and burns on his hands and his arms. Once the victim cleared the window, the momentum rotated Firefighter Lee 180 degrees. His back was against the building. The life-saving rope began to burn as the firefighter and victim reached the 3rd floor. When they reached the ground safely, the life-saving rope burned through and fell to the ground. Firefighters Lee and Rush carried the man through exposure 4 to the front of the building, where he was handed off to EMS personnel. The life-saving rope used in this rescue is now on display in the New York City Fire Museum. For his extraordinary efforts and extreme personal risk, firefighter James P. Lee is awarded the James Gordon Bennett Medal and the New York State Honorary Fire Chiefs Association Medal. Our next medal is the Brooklyn Citizens Medal, Firefighter Louis Valentino Award, awarded to Firefighter Peter J. Brady of Ladder Company 174, Snyder Island. October 14, 2016 was a particularly busy day for Ladder 174 members. With the adjoining ladder company out of service for the day, Ladder 174 was taking up from a box in Brownsville, Brooklyn, when box 1664 was announced for a structure fire nearby. Ladder 174 gave a 1075 for a fire on the second floor of a 3-story private dwelling. There were 2 fire marshals on the scene reporting someone in the house, and that smoke and heat were too hot for them to enter. The officer on duty ordered an aggressive interior attack to search for the trapped occupant. Firefighter Peter J. Brady of Ladder 174's forcible entry firefighter and the officer forced their way into the home to the second floor, where they were met with extremely high heat and blacked out conditions. With the fire rapidly advancing over their heads, Firefighter Brady made a left-handed search of the fire area. While the can firefighter held back the flames with the extinguisher, the fire had already burnt the top of the door. Firefighter Brady got low and crawled under the flames to get into the back bedroom where the victim was reported. Simultaneously, Ladder 174 chauffeur gave a report that there were window bars throughout and removal of them would be delayed. Firefighter Brady continued his search past the fire and found an unconscious female in respiratory arrest in the bedroom. With no hose line yet in place and the windows unable to be used for removal, Firefighter Brady realized he had to again crawl past the fire to give this victim a chance at life. The Firefighter Brady and the lieutenant removed the fire victim to the street and transferred her to the care of EMS personnel. The woman regained her ability to breathe but required care. If not for the swift action of Firefighter Brady, this woman certainly would have perished in this fire and would not be alive today. To save a life, Firefighter Brady crawled past fire twice to carry out this rescue operation without the protection of a hose line. Firefighter Peter J. Brady's heroics are recognized with the presentation of the Brooklyn Citizens Medal, Firefighter Louis Valentino Award. Our next medal is the Christopher J. Prescott Medal, awarded to EMT Ryan J. Greff of Station 4, Lower East Side. The evening of October 5th, 2016 started in the usual manner for the crew of 04 Henry. EMTs Ryan J. Greff and Bruce Fonseca arrived at their work location, secured their equipment, and logged on as they had done so many times before. The evening changed quickly for them at approximately 40 minutes into their tour when they were assigned to what they thought would be a routine injury incident. Prior to their arrival, the pair of EMTs was flagged down for assistance by multiple bystanders for an altercation that was taking place inside a restaurant at the location. The EMTs immediately entered the restaurant and were surprised to see a man with 2 large kitchen knives attempting to stab another man. Without hesitation, EMT Greff skillfully disarmed the man and restrained him on the floor while his partner, EMT Fonseca, radioed for emergency assistance and began providing a medical treatment. EMT Greff believed the victim's life was in grave danger and successfully restrained the man's attacker until police arrived. EMT Greff quickly intervened, acting heroically and without concern for personal risk that he faced. If not for his selfless actions, the person might not be alive today. His unselfish act of heroism to prevent another person from being harmed, EMT Ryan J. Greff, a 10-year veteran of the department, is honored with the Christopher J. Prescott Medal. Our next medal is the U. Bonner Medal, Honor Legion Medal, awarded to firefighter Gerard P. McManus, Ladder Company 155, the Viper's Nest. On the afternoon of October 26, 2016, the Viper's Nest responded to a report of a fire in a private dwelling. Due to the heavy, visible smoke, the 1075 was given from 7 blocks away by engine 302. On arrival, Ladder 155 encountered heavy fire venting from both the first and second floor windows of a peaked roof, 2.5-story private dwelling. Entry through the front door would be impossible without the protection and advancement of a hose line. Firefighter Gerard P. McManus, a 15-year veteran of Ladder 155, was assigned the roof position that day. The Queens dispatcher notified the members of a possibility of a person still inside. Firefighter McManus performed his size-up and quickly realized that access to the rear would be arduous. Thus, he breached the fence and forced multiple reinforced doors to reach his position. The firefighter was greeted at the back entrance with extremely high heat and heavy black smoke pushing under pressure. Conditions rapidly were deteriorating, and at this point, entry had not yet been made from the front, and there was no hose line in place. Firefighter McManus was aware of the possibility of a victim still inside and knew that under worsening conditions, survival time was limited. He began his left-handed search in the kitchen and was led to the dining room area. Conditions quickly became so extreme that Firefighter McManus began to feel the heat through his bunker gear and was forced to crawl on his belly to complete his search. He made entry into the dining area with heavy fire engulfing the room, placing himself in a position of personal risk. Reaching the middle of the room, the firefighter felt the foot of a victim and quickly identified the 1045. Firefighter McManus notified Ladder 155's officer and began a very difficult removal by himself, despite the severe fire conditions. With flashover imminent, Firefighter McManus rapidly spun the victim and dragged him through the high heat and fire conditions to the rear door. He then brought the victim down the exterior stairs along the driveway to the street, approximately 60 feet. Firefighter McManus acted alone and in the greatest traditions of the FDNY to save a life. If not for his quick thinking, aggressive, and selfless actions, the victim certainly would have perished that day. For these reasons, Firefighter Gerard P. McManus is recognized with the U Bonner Medal, Honor Legion Medal. Our next medal, the Emily Trevor Mary B. Warren Medal, is awarded to Firefighter Andrew E. Hawkins, Ladder Company 43, El Barrio's Bravest. On October 27, 2016, at 3:24 hours, Ladder 43 responded first due to a fire in a multiple dwelling on East 93rd Street, Manhattan Box 1219. Upon arrival, a 1075 was transmitted for a heavy first-floor fire possessing the entire rear apartment and public hall and extending up the unenclosed interior staircase of the 5-story building. Firefighter Andrew Hawkins, Ladder 43 chauffeur, set up the aerial. With the saw, he ascended to the roof. Noticing heavy fire venting above the roof line from an enclosed shaft on exposure number 4, he assisted Ladder 43's roof firefighter while monitoring the developing fire conditions as concerns over the roof's integrity grew. Maintaining situational awareness, Firefighter Hawkins heard report of a civilian trapped at a top floor rear window. Without hesitation, Firefighter Hawkins grabbed a life-saving rope and attached it to the only available substantial object, a dilapidated chimney barely extending above the roof. Considering the chimney's low height, Firefighter Hawkins laid down to prevent the rope from slipping over its top. Making matters more complicated, the substantial object was not in line with the window of the trapped victim. While other firefighters held him down, Firefighter Hawkins methodically lowered Firefighter James Lee of Rescue 1 to the victim, and then an additional 5 floors to safety. Firefighter Hawkins' actions throughout this fire were exemplary. He repeatedly demonstrated the ability to evaluate issues and to decisively direct, control, and respond to rapidly deteriorating conditions. While putting himself in harm's way, with determination and teamwork, Firefighter Hawkins assisted in saving a trapped civilian and protected the life of a firefighter on the life-saving rope. For displaying his training, dedication, and determination during these dramatic events, Firefighter Andrew E. Hawkins of Ladder 43 is awarded the Emily Trevor Mary B. Warren Medal. Our next medal is the Thomas E. Crimmins Medal, awarded to Firefighter Brian C. Lavelle of Ladder Company 26, the Fire Factory. On Saturday, February 13, 2016, at 16:26 hours, Engine 58 and Ladder 26, the fire factory were dispatched for reported fire on the 11th floor of a 14-story, fireproof, New York City Housing Authority building in Harlem. When the companies arrived, they saw heavy smoke showing from the 11th floor of the K line of apartments. The inside team of Ladder 26 located the K apartment on the 9th floor before proceeding to the 11th floor. Arriving on the 11th floor, the members encountered heavy smoke in the public hallway and zero visibility. They masked up in the stairwell and proceeded to the K apartment. When the inside team reached the fire apartment, the door was closed but unlocked. Firefighter Lavelle threw the deadbolt and maintained control of the door as the officer and Irons firefighter began to search and locate the fire. High heat and zero visibility permeated the apartment. The captain immediately located the fire in the kitchen about 10 feet into the apartment. Ladder 26's roof firefighter provided the layout of the apartment, and Captain Gill realized that the heavy fire extending from the kitchen was blocking access to the hallway and 2 rear bedrooms. He called for firefighter Lavelle to bring the extinguisher and contain the fire while awaiting Engine 58's hose line. At that time, Battalion 12 reported that there was a confirmed life hazard. There were also reports that Engine 58's hose line would be delayed due to elevator malfunctions. Firefighter Lavelle searched the bathroom, continued down the hallway, and found a closed door that led him to the first bedroom. He searched the bed, found a woman, and transmitted the 1045. He removed her from the bed and called for assistance. For his aggressive actions in locating a mother and a child during an expanding fire without the protection of a hose line, firefighter Brian C. Lavelle is being honored by the FDNY with the Thomas E. Crimmins Medal on Medal Day. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Thomas A. Kenny Memorial Medal, awarded to Captain Joseph P. McConnell, Ladder Company 42, Casa del Elefante. At approximately 12:30 hours on February 7, 2016, Ladder 42 members were on their way back to quarters from a previous run. While stopped at a light, members noticed an alarmed woman waving her hands and pointing at the corner building. Firefighter Donald F. Finnegan alerted the officer of smoke issuing from a second-floor window at the building, a 200 by 150-foot, 6-story Class 1 occupied multiple dwelling. The chauffeur positioned the apparatus. Captain McConnell entered the lobby of the fire building with his inside team. Fleeing occupants reported that the fire was in apartment 2J and that numerous people were trapped by the fire. Based on a size-up, Captain McConnell determined that the A stairwell would provide the best access to the fire apartment. Captain McConnell and his inside team quickly ascended the stairs to the second floor to find a heavy smoke condition, as both apartment and stairwell doors had been left open. Donning their face pieces, the inside team entered the smoky public hallway to locate the fire apartment. They quickly encountered numerous fleeing civilians and directed them to fresh air of the stairwell. Despite the blackout conditions and searing heat, the threesome quickly located the fire apartment and began their search. While searching, firefighter Morrison found the main body of fire in a bedroom and tried to contain it by closing the door to the room. As the fire started to extend over his head into the hallway, he noticed the door had been burned through and immediately notified Captain McConnell. Crawling past the fire himself, Captain McConnell found a locked door. Due to high heat, he remained low and kicked it open. Crawling on his stomach, Captain McConnell searched the bathroom and quickly came upon an unconscious form of a male youngster located between the bathtub and the sink. Transmitted at 10:45, and he removed the child to the apartment hallway, where he was assisted by the can firefighter. The two shielded the victim from the now uncontrolled fire, removed him through the public hallway and down the stairs to a waiting MES unit. With courage and determination, Captain Joseph P. McConnell acted in the highest traditions of the FDNY. He is presented with the Thomas A. Kenny Memorial Medal to recognize his brave actions. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Walter Scott Medal, awarded to Captain Gary A. Weinhofer, Ladder 162, the Border Patrol. On June 29, 2016, at 08:15 hours, Tower Ladder 162 responded to a fire in a multiple dwelling. While still several blocks away, Captain Gary A. Weinhofer observed heavy black smoke in the sky. He informed the other members of Ladder 162 that it looked like they had a job. On arrival, members found heavy fire venting out a second-floor front window. The captain radioed a 1075 to the dispatcher and exited the rig. Wasting no time, the captain and his inside team entered the burning building, where they were met by a medium smoke condition with the fire apartment door closed. As he sized up the situation, the captain felt the door and discovered it was unlocked, which indicated to him that someone was inside. He decided to search the apartment prior to a hose line being in position. After entering the apartment, conditions drastically changed. Captain Weinhofer experienced zero visibility and a moderate amount of heat. He ordered firefighter Smith to remain at the door and control it, while he and firefighter Salvador proceeded to find the seat of the fire. The fire was located in the kitchen, 15 feet down the hallway from the entrance. As the fire intensified, flames were rolling over their heads, forcing them to crawl along the floor. The officer ordered firefighter Salvador to direct the stream from his can at the ceiling, knocking the flames back. A radio transmission was given by the first two-engine chauffeur, stating that he did not have a working hydrant and needed a relay. The severity of the situation had now changed. The water in firefighter Salvador's extinguisher was nearly depleted, and a civilian was still believed to be trapped somewhere in the burning apartment. Captain Weinhofer decided to pass the fire room and continue his search of the rest of the apartment. Advancing deeper into the apartment without the safety of a charged hose line or extinguisher, the captain crawled along. The smoke was so thick he no longer could see the thermal imaging camera's screen. He could feel the high heat through his bunker coat. His perseverance paid off when the captain found a bedroom. He entered it and had found an unconscious elderly woman lying on the floor. Conditions in the fire apartment were so extreme that sheltering in place was not an option, so rising only a few inches off the floor, the captain began to move the woman a short distance. At this point, the situation changed again as Engine 304 members began to push into the fire apartment with their charged hose line. This gave the captain an opportunity, and he used his body to shield the injured woman and continue to remove her to the entrance door. Once there, he handed her off to his firefighters from the inside team, who removed her to the street and waiting EMS personnel. For his brave actions under extreme fire conditions, Captain Gary A. Weinhofer is honored with the Walter Scott Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the John H. Prentice Medal, awarded to firefighter Jonathan A. Capel, Ladder Company 44, the Untouchables. At 14:01 hours on April 23, 2016, Ladder 44 pulled up to a reported fire in what the department calls an H-type building. The firefighters in Ladder 44 had to figure out exactly where the fire was in this particular H-type building one Saturday afternoon in the Claremont section of the Bronx. When the officer of Ladder 44 arrived on the fifth-floor public hallway with his inside team, they were met with heavy smoke and heat, an indication that the fire apartment door had been left open. Undeterred, they moved down the smoky hallway, where they came across a man fleeing the fire apartment. Lieutenant Borodin quickly questioned the occupant to learn if anyone else was inside, as firefighters Grillo and Capel began their search. As they entered the apartment, the two firefighters were hit by a wave of extreme heat and blinding smoke. Firefighter Grillo sprayed water from his can on the flames, as firefighter Capel began a right-hand search deeper in the apartment. Since the effectiveness of the extinguisher was limited, flames began to undulate at ceiling level of the foyer, a sign that the blaze would soon consume the entire area. Firefighter Capel passed under the most intense heat to the large entryway of the living room, where he heard the sound of a woman groaning. Firefighter Capel discovered a bed where he swept for the victim, but she was not there. Then the victim moaned again, allowing Firefighter Capel to direct his search to the other side of the room. With the heat pressing down, Firefighter Capel crawled toward the sound that led him to another bed in the room where he found a woman lying face up. Firefighter Capel's path out of the apartment brought him and the victim straight past the now raging fire. After stretching hundreds of feet of hose, Engine 92 was just arriving with the line. Firefighter Capel brought the woman to the public hallway where she was passed to another company whose members brought her down to the street for emergency medical care. Firefighter Capel returned to the apartment to assist the engine company with their advance and complete Ladder 44's primary search of the apartment. For his extraordinary act of bravery under intense fire conditions, Firefighter Jonathan A. Capel is presented with the John H. Prentice Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Henry D. Brookman Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Vincent P. Cavalieri, Ladder Company 172, 65th Street's bravest. On July 5th, 2017, as Lieutenant Vincent P. Cavalieri's night tour drew to an end, he thought that there was no way that one of the busiest days of the year could be this tranquil. Minutes later, the alarm sounded and the officer slid the pole as he's done hundreds of times before. But this slide proved to be a life-saving one. The Brooklyn dispatcher assigned Tower Ladder 172 to respond to a residential fire in Bensonhurst. While responding, Lieutenant Cavalieri received a crucial report that there were people trapped inside the residence. As Ladder 172 arrived at the 6-story residential building, Lieutenant Cavalieri, accompanied by his team, knew immediately what they needed to do. As the occupants fled the building, Ladder 172's chauffeur reported noxious black smoke pumping from a nearby window. Even more challenging, the engine was faced with the delay in obtaining a positive water source. With this in mind, the firefighters at the scene knew they had to act quickly to ensure that no one perished. Before entering the building, a visibly shaken local resident approached Lieutenant Cavalieri, screaming about a woman trapped inside. The difficult search began. Resisting tunnel vision during a life-saving operation, the lieutenant diligently monitored the rapidly developing scene, placing himself at risk. Due to Lieutenant Cavalieri's staunch attention to detail and a focused, systematic search, he was able to locate the motionless body of a woman and remove her to safety, aided by firefighter Dugan. After Engine 253 members performed emergency medical care on the victim, she regained a pulse and was taken to the hospital. Lieutenant Cavalieri's courage and extraordinary determination bring to life the core principles and highest traditions of the New York City Fire Department. He flawlessly executed the necessary task to save a human life. Acknowledging his bravery, the FDNY presents Lieutenant Vincent P. Cavalieri with the Henry D. Brookman Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Chief Ulysses Grant Leadership Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Craig C. Roeder, Station 45, Woodside Pride. April 19, 2016 quickly turned out to be a most unusual day for Lieutenant Craig Roeder. He was available within his response area in the Western Queens section when he saw a large plume of smoke. Initially thinking it was a car fire, he proceeded to the location to investigate, listening to the radio for any information en route. The lieutenant arrived at the location and discovered that it was a house fire. He encountered a woman who was screaming, "There are people in the house." Lieutenant Roeder notified the EMS dispatcher of the incident. With no other resources on scene and no sounds of sirens to indicate that fire apparatus were on the way, without hesitation and placing his own safety in harm's way, Lieutenant Roeder entered the building to attempt to search for and rescue anyone still inside. On the first floor in the rear of the smoke-filled home, near the main source of the fire, the lieutenant located a woman holding a baby. The woman appeared to be disoriented. She was trying to extinguish the fire. Lieutenant Roeder assisted both the woman and the baby out of the house. Once outside, he was advised that there might be more people on the second floor. Once again, with no additional resources on scene as yet, Lieutenant Rhoda proceeded back into the house and headed to the second floor to look for any signs of life. He noticed that the fire was getting much heavier in the rear of the house. He reached the second floor, which was engulfed in toxic smoke. The lieutenant performed a search looking for any trapped individuals. During his search of the second floor, Lieutenant Rhoda found the family dog trapped behind a closed door. After freeing the friendly dog, the animal ran straight out of the house. As the fire was spreading and the heat increasing, even without respiratory protection, Lieutenant Rhoda continued to search, but he didn't find anyone else. He made his way out of the house through the smoke-filled environment. Lieutenant Rhoda established command as the medical branch director until he was relieved. Then he was transported to the hospital for evaluation. Knowing that people needed help to evacuate a fire building, Lieutenant Rhoda went above and beyond the call of duty. That is why the FDNY honors Lieutenant Craig C. Rhoda with the Chief Ulysses Grant Leadership Medal today. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Hispanic Society 23rd Street Fire Memorial Medal of Valor, awarded to firefighter Christian Chariz, Ladder Company 54. End of story. In the early morning of February 6, 2016, Ladder 54 was dispatched to a location in the Bronx. On arrival, members were confronted with an advanced fire on the first floor that was venting from several windows in the front and the exposure number 4 side. There were numerous reports of people trapped. Firefighter Chariz, Ladder 54's outside vent firefighter, quickly pulled a 24-foot extension ladder from the apparatus and made his way down a narrow alley under the venting fire to the rear. When he reached the rear, he found a man at a third-floor window threatening to jump. Firefighter Chariz convinced the man to remain at the window as he raised the portable ladder to the windowsill. The firefighter removed an elderly man from the window and brought him to the ground. Once safely on the ground, he questioned the man about other occupants in the apartment. He said his wife was still in the bedroom. The firefighter quickly reascended the ladder, donned his breathing apparatus, and entered the window. The conditions were deteriorating as he began to search the room. The firefighter made his way around the room. He found a female victim face down between the bed and the open door. Firefighter Thomas Brick, Ladder 58's forcible entry firefighter, arrived, and the two firefighters began to move it down the hall toward the stairs. Feeling that the heat venting up the stairs from the fire conditions in the basement and the first floor, the firefighters used their bodies to shield the woman as she was removed to the street. Firefighter Chariz continued to care for her by performing respirations with the BVM until she could be turned over to EMS personnel. Firefighter Chariz placed himself at personal risk in performing the search of the top floor apartment in the wood frame structure with an uncontrolled fire below. For the dedication and determination that made the rescue of the two elderly occupants possible. Firefighter Christian Chariz is recognized today with the Hispanic Society 23rd Street Fire Memorial Medal of Valor. Congratulations. Our next medal is the M.J. Delahanty Medal, awarded to firefighter Louis M. Piazza, Ladder Company 133, Merrick Boulevard, Magic. On January 21st, 2015, at 3:21 hours, the Queens Communication Office transmitted Box 5001, reported to be a fire in a private dwelling across from the reported address. Upon arrival, Engine 275 transmitted a 1075 reporting a working fire in a private dwelling. Ladder 133 arrived right behind the engine and began the task of forcing entry into the dwelling. The Irons firefighter, Louis Piazza, was able to gain access on his initial attempt, setting up a smooth tempo for the remainder of his actions. The inside team knew they had a well-advanced fire. Fire was venting out the first floor windows of the front and left side of the house. The time of the alarm indicated there was a strong likelihood the house was occupied. Firefighter Piazza was assigned to search to the right. The remaining members would search to the left and access the main body of fire, trying to apply water from the can until the engine was in the proper position to apply water. Firefighter Piazza made an aggressive interior search, which required him to lie on his stomach and crawl low past the fire. The selfless and aggressive decisions made by Firefighter Piazza proved to be wise. Approximately 20 feet past the main body of fire, Firefighter Piazza felt what he thought to be a pile of clothes. Due to the high heat and zero visibility, he was forced to use his sense of touch to determine the object, which proved to be the motionless body of a man. Firefighter Piazza summoned all of his strength and, unassisted, removed the victim back to the front door, once again passing the fire. As he passed the fire a second time, he was forced to shield the man with his body, while Firefighter Mooney held back the fire with an almost depleted can. Firefighter Piazza continued the arduous task of removing the victim to the front lawn. Firefighter Lewis M. Piazza's bravery directly led to the positive life-saving outcome. His actions in the house, as well as on the front lawn, kept the victim from succumbing to his injuries. And he performed successfully while operating in zero visibility under extreme conditions without the benefit of a charged hose line for his protection. In recognition of his valor, Firefighter Piazza is awarded the M.J. Delahunty Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Mayor Fiorello H. LaGuardia Medal, awarded to Firefighter Sean M. Heater, Ladder Company 42, Casa del Elefante. At approximately 12:30 hours on February 7, 2016, Ladder 42 was returning to quarters from a previous run. While stopped at a light at the corner of Prospect Avenue and East 163rd Street, members noticed an alarmed woman waving her hands and pointing at the corner building. Firefighter Donald F. Finnegan looked up to see smoke issuing from a second-floor window at a 200 by 150-foot, six-story, Class 1, occupied multiple dwelling. As the chauffeur positioned the apparatus, Firefighter Sean M. Heater, the outside vent firefighter, made a visual size-up of the exposure to side of the building, noting the heavy smoke venting from the windows and the severe downward grade of the street. Firefighter Heater removed the 24-foot extension ladder and step chock from the apparatus, placing the ladder at the window to the fire apartment, with the step chock making up for the street's grade difference. As Firefighter Heater ascended the ladder, the upper portion of the window began to fail, and visible fire could be seen through it. Knowing he would be unable to enter the fire room, Firefighter Heater reported that the failing window via handy-talkie and retreated down the ladder for another route to the apartment. He repositioned the ladder and step chock for best access to an adjacent window. After hearing radio transmissions of reports of missing occupants, Firefighter Heater climbed the ladder and removed the window's child gate in preparation for entry. Firefighter Heater contacted Captain McConnell and was granted permission to perform horizontal ventilation. Donning his face piece, the firefighter removed the window and entered the room. With conditions in the room rapidly deteriorating, no protection of a charged hose line, Firefighter Heater began his search quickly, starting with the bed. As he swept the mattress, he felt something wedged between the bed and the wall. With the visibility now at zero, Firefighter Heater used his flashlight to verify that it was a motionless female. Knowing the precarious positioning of the ladder from which he entered the apartment, Firefighter Heater decided the best way to remove the victim was through the apartment. Assisted by firefighters Finnegan and Jeff Nevitt of Ladder 31, Firefighter Heater maneuvered the victim through the smoke-filled apartment, with Firefighter Thomas E. Morrison holding back the rapidly extending fire with the can. Firefighter Heater pulled and shielded the woman through the apartment and out to the public hallway, down the stairs toward the lobby. Once in the lobby, Firefighter Heater assessed the woman's vitals, began CPR until care was transferred to EMS. In recognition of his extraordinary efforts in effecting this rescue, FDNY honors Firefighter Sean M. Heater with the Mayor Fiorello H. LaGuardia Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the William F. Conran Medal, awarded to firefighter Brady S. Wareham, Ladder 23, the Vinegar Hill Gang. At 0030 hours on July 28, 2016, Ladder 23 was assigned first due to Manhattan Box 1641. Members were told by the dispatcher that multiple calls were being received with reports of people trapped by fire. Arriving at the scene, Ladder 23 members made an initial exterior size-up of the front of the building, but there was no visible sign of smoke or fire. As they entered the building, the inside team encountered fleeing occupants who stated that there was a smoke condition on the 4th floor. Ascending the stairs, a minor smoke condition worsened. However, they weren't able to locate the fire on the 4th floor. Meanwhile, firefighter Wareham, the outside vent firefighter, performed the exterior size-up of the rear and sides of the building. There was an odor of smoke. However, nothing was showing. He then noticed something that looked out of place. It was after midnight, and yet there was an unsecured roll-up gate still in the opposition to the door of a law office. Using his forcible entry tool, the firefighter pushed on the top half of the door. A plume of black smoke then issued from around the door frame. The firefighter immediately notified his lieutenant of this development and that he was attempting to entry to investigate. Forcing entry into the law office, the firefighter encountered heavy smoke and high heat. He realized that he had located the fire and transmitted this information. His lieutenant acknowledged the message and informed him that Ladder 23's members would be working their way to him. The firefighter donned his mask and entered the building alone in an attempt to perform a search. While lying on the floor below the smoke, the firefighter used his flashlight to scan the floor. In doing so, he spotted a body at the rear of the office. Transmitting the 1045, he radioed via handy-talkie that he was entering the fire area to attempt to retrieve the victim. Heat and flames intensified overhead as the firefighter tried to protect the unconscious victim from the fire as he dragged him to the outer doorway, where he was met by the lieutenant and the members of Ladder 23's inside team. They removed the badly burned victim and treated him until the members of Engine 69 were able to successfully provide life-saving treatment. Firefighter Wareham demonstrated both professionalism and initiative in this successful rescue. It is recognition of his efforts that firefighter Brady S. Wareham is presented with the William F. Conran Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Chief John J. McElligott Medal, Firefighters Fitzpatrick and Frisbee Award, awarded to firefighter Eric T. Roslin, Ladder Company 14, Heaven in Harlem. Fire department operations on active train and subway tracks are extremely hazardous. Unpredictable trains and high-voltage third rails or catenary wires are dangerous enough, but when coupled with adolescent boys playing on elevated tracks, the results can be downright deadly. All of these factors came into play on the evening of October 2nd, 2016. At 21:33 hours, Tower Ladder 14 received a run for 3 people stuck on the Amtrak bridge located on Randall's Island. Upon Ladder 14's arrival, the NYPD pointed toward an individual standing motionless near the track area of the Hell's Gate Bridge. The portion of the bridge where he stood is overland and the track bed is approximately 70 feet off the ground. Immediately realizing the seriousness of the situation, Captain Lester Lightbourne directed Ladder 14 members to set up the tower ladder in order to make immediate rescue. The forcible entry team helped Ladder Company chauffeur lower the jacks and the tormentors and climbed into the bucket. Battalion 12 had requested through the Manhattan dispatcher to have all power turned off and all train traffic stopped. As firefighters Smith and Roslin descended in the bucket, Captain Lightbourne warned them that the power to the catenary wires could not be confirmed as off, nor had the train traffic been stopped. When the firefighters in the bucket reached the male teenager, they found him frozen in fear. The youth stood in direct path of an oncoming eastbound train. the members made repeated unsuccessful attempts to coax the teenager to walk toward them and get into the tower ladder bucket. Suddenly, a train appeared, bearing down on the eastbound tracks. Unable to establish a grip on the young man from the bucket and fearing he would be struck and killed, firefighter Rosslin exited the bucket and climbed onto the elevated train tracks. From his position in the bucket, firefighter Smith used his hand light to warn the oncoming train of people on the train tracks. Without hesitation, firefighter Rosslin forced the teenager to the outside edge of the 38-inch catwalk. He pressed his own body against the teenager, assuring him that both of them were out of the path of the train. After an unsuccessful attempt by firefighter Smith to signal the oncoming train to stop, the train thundered by at a high rate of speed. Firefighters Rosslin and Smith assisted the youth into the bucket, and the trio returned to the ground, where the boy's parents waited, startled but relieved. Had firefighter Rosslin not taken the initiative and acted so selflessly by putting himself at risk, the outcome most certainly would have been grave. For these reasons, the FDNY honors firefighter Eric T. Rosslin, actions with the Chief John J. McElligott Medal, firefighters Fitzpatrick and Frisbee Award. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Thomas F. Doherty Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Barry J. Annette, Ladder Company 23, the Vinegar Hill Gang. On March 1st, 2016, at 2:24 hours, Ladder 23 was assigned second due to Manhattan Box 1677 for a report of a fire on the 8th floor. The building was an imposing 8-story triangular-shaped structure which was built in 1910. Typical of pre-war construction with large, spacious rooms, this building spans an entire block. Alterations to apartments resulting in vastly dissimilar floor layouts, many with maze-like conditions which proved to be major factors at this incident. As Ladder 23 members approached, Lieutenant Barry J. Annette immediately transmitted a 1075 for fire issuing from 2 windows on the top floor. Knowing that Ladder 34's approach would prevent them from getting an accurate view of the fire, Lieutenant Annette contacted Ladder 34's officer to coordinate operations. Much of Washington Heights is notorious for narrow and congested streets. These conditions, plus the height of the fire floor, impeded optimum placement of ladder apparatus. Any rescue would have to be through the interior of the building. Ladder 23's inside team ascended the stairs to the top floor. What had been a medium smoke condition in the public hallway deteriorated into a high heat situation with zero visibility. Lieutenant Annette heard a radio transmission from Ladder 23's chauffeur that a civilian was hanging out the rear window of the fire apartment with heavy smoke pushing over her head. To find a victim from the exterior, Lieutenant Annette went to the adjoining apartment window and tried to pinpoint her location. Heavy fire and smoke obstructed visibility. However, the lieutenant finally located her and immediately notified Battalion 16 that the victim was in the window to the left of the main body of fire. Fire was still venting out the rear windows. Ladder 34 radioed Battalion 16 that they were encountering dense smoke, heavy fire, and high heat. Additional radio transmissions from the roof indicated that a roof rope rescue would be impossible due to an unstable metal parapet that was protruded over the roof and a water tank perched directly over the fire apartment. Lieutenant Annette observed the woman's agonized attempt to breathe through the thick smoke. Knowing he was her best chance of being rescued, the officer notified the battalion on the fire floor that he was entering the fire apartment to assist in locating the victim. Engine 84 was attempting to control several rules of fire as Lieutenant Annette crawled his way towards the rear bedroom. Fire was lapping out from an adjoining bedroom. To limit the spread of flame, he closed the doors to the room and made his way to the window, finding the victim below the windowsill. Shielding her body with his own, the lieutenant notified Division 6 that he had located the woman and was sheltering in place until Engine 84 extinguished the fire. The lieutenant assisted the victim with her breathing and remained with her until relieved by members of Ladder 34. The survivor was taken to the hospital for treatment. Extreme difficulty in locating the person in distress led to an extraordinary sequence of events that Lieutenant Annette had to overcome to effect this rescue. Lieutenant Barry J. Annette, persistence and professionalism are recognized with the Thomas F. Doherty Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Albert S. Johnston Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Robert P. Musa, Ladder Company 48, the pride of Hunts Point. Ladder 48 members began the Sunday night tour of November 27, 2016, as they often do in the Hunts Point section of the Bronx. Roll call, ready the gear, check the rig, and maybe a quick workout if there's time. The members are well trained and seasoned, which ensures a tight working group. At 2016 hours, House Watch alerted members to an incoming run. Bronx Dispatch directed them to Southern Boulevard. The building was well known to the members, who had responded there frequently. Moving out of quarters, Ladder 48 members listened intently to the radio report with additional information for a fire on the 5th floor. Moments later, we're getting numerous calls with reports of people trapped. The members anticipated a working fire, but the FDNY firefighters are highly trained in situational awareness and response strategy. As they arrived at the building, panicked residents poured into the street with reports that an elderly woman was trapped in the 5th floor fire apartment. Lieutenant Muser led his forcible entry team into the building. Within moments, they were sizing up forcible entry options at the locked door of the fire apartment. Smoke under pressure pushed from around the door frame. Without delay, the team forced the door, and immediately members were driven to the floor by high heat, with thick black smoke pushing from within. The lieutenant recognized this as a clear indication of a rapidly evolving fire. Faced with zero visibility, Lieutenant Muser moved to a prone position, scanned the long hallway with a flashlight, and spotted the feet of an occupant lying on the floor. Without hesitation, moving quickly and low, the officer pushed through the heat and smoke, eventually reaching the elderly occupant. The victim was unconscious and appeared not to be breathing. As he maneuvered towards safety, Lieutenant Muser used his body to shield the victim from the fire overhead. Firefighter DeMattis assisted from behind the victim. Firefighter Appleholm helped facilitate her removal to the safety of the 5th floor landing. Lieutenant Muser operated under challenging fire conditions without the benefit of a charged protective hose line. He demonstrated tactical skill, unwavering courage, and professionalism in the performance of his duty. His leadership and decisive actions resulted in the life-saving rescue of the trapped victim. For his bravery, Lieutenant Robert P. Muser is honored with the Albert S. Johnston Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Bella Stifle Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Daniel J. Sullivan, Ladder Company 51, the Doghouse. It was the morning of December 4, 2016, and at 0749 hours, the Bronx dispatcher transmitted box 4421, reporting a fire in 2 attached private dwellings. Ladder 51 immediately became available and quickly responded. The apparatus was moved expertly through the streets of the Bronx and entered the block first due. No other units was on the scene. Lieutenant Dan Sullivan transmitted a 1075 for a fire in a one-family dwelling with heavy smoke pushing from the attic of both the fire building and the attached dwelling. Exiting the apparatus, the lieutenant was notified by neighbors of a person possibly trapped within the fire building. Lieutenant Sullivan and his inside team gained access to the interior stairs and ascended to the top floor, where the conditions were brutal. With zero visibility, the officer was forced to use his thermal imaging camera to see that there was high heat and fire extending from the front bedroom. Lieutenant Sullivan knew they would be operating without the protection of a hose line, so he sent the forcible entry firefighter to search a rear bedroom. In dense smoke, he and the can firefighter proceeded down the hallway toward the front, with the fire rolling over their heads from a partially open door. Arriving at the door, Lieutenant Sullivan noticed that it was partially jammed open due to a heavy clutter condition. Forced to operate in this extreme environment, he instructed the can firefighter to try to control the fire while he tried to open the door. Knowing he needed a rapid search of the room, his only option was to remove the door from the hinges, a calculated move without the protection of a hose line. The lieutenant used his officer's tool to remove the door and entered the cluttered room to begin his search. With conditions rapidly worsening, Lieutenant Sullivan was forced to the floor by the high heat. He was rewarded for his efforts when he located the unconscious male victim lying on the floor next to the bed. Quickly transmitting at 10:45, Lieutenant Sullivan and firefighter Loreno transported the victim to the street. The man suffered burns and received life-saving treatment at the scene before being transported to the hospital by EMS. Lieutenant Sullivan's actions were in the highest traditions of the department. This feat was performed despite heavy fire conditions and zero visibility without the protection of a hose line. For his bravery and fortitude, Lieutenant Daniel J. Sullivan is honored today with the Bella Stifel Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Tracy Allen Lee Medal, awarded to EMT Sean P. Emanuel, Station 4, Lower East Side. On the warm summer afternoon of August 20th, 2016, EMT Sean P. Emanuel and his partner were sitting in their vehicle while monitoring the radio for their next assignment. At 17:50 hours, they were dispatched to drug, a call type that can mean any variety of incidents. When EMT Emanuel and his partner arrived at the multiple dwelling, they took the elevator to the 27th floor. The pair was greeted by a female who stated that her friend had a few drinks and locked herself outside the balcony of the apartment. The EMTs approached the rear of the apartment and saw the female on the balcony. She appeared to be in an altered state of mind. Her feet were covered in blood and glass was shattered across the floor of the balcony. She was dancing on the outside edge of the balcony behind a locked door. She started yelling, "I want to die." EMT Emanuel's extensive training kicked in, and he immediately started to develop a rapport with the patient, while a building maintenance worker proceeded to open the locked balcony door. Once open, EMT Emanuel, without hesitation, ran out to the balcony just as the patient let go of the railing, and he was able to pull her back to safety. Without EMT Emanuel's quick thinking and reflexive actions, the patient most likely would have lost her life. The bravery and decisive actions of EMT Sean P. Emanuel exemplify the highest traditions of courage, dedication, and service, all of which make him a worthy recipient of the Tracy Allen Lee Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Vincent J. Kane Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Gregory S. D'Amato, Engine Company 302, the Viper's Nest. On the morning of August 22nd, 2016, Engine 302 received a run for reported house fire. Queens Box 8724 came in for a reported location at an intersection. While Engine 302 was responding, the address information was updated. As members arrived at the box location, they saw the first two units multiple blocks away. Lieutenant D'Amato noticed heavy smoke pushing from a structure halfway down the block. Seeing civilians frantically waving them in, Engine 302 turned into the block and arrived at the given address. Lieutenant D'Amato quickly called the Queens dispatcher and transmitted to 1075 with particulars to follow. He advised the members that Engine 302 would be operating as the first due engine. As they got off the rig, they sized up the building and saw a heavy black smoke coming from the front door and windows of the two-story, Class 4, peak roof private dwelling. Lieutenant ordered his members to stretch an 1 3/4 hand line to the front of the building. As he approached the front door, there were two police officers attempting to make entry. Due to the high heat and thick black smoke, they were driven back, unable to make it into the burning house. Lieutenant D'Amato made his way past the two officers, entered the building, and started to make a rapid but thorough search. He noted that the fire was quickly advancing, both in the cellar and on the first floor. There was no protective hose line in place. And during the high heat, the officer went deeper into the first floor and continued his search. He found an unconscious female lying on her back in the living room. He immediately gave a 1045. Since the conditions were deteriorating rapidly, Lieutenant D'Amato began victim removal. Alone and under high heat and zero visibility, he dragged the limp woman out towards the front door and the front stoop. There, the police officers now were able to assist. The trio carried the unconscious woman down the stoop and placed her in the front yard to receive medical attention. As a result of Lieutenant Gregory S. D'Amato's actions under serious fire conditions, a life was saved. He upheld all the proud traditions of the FDNY and is recognized with the Vincent J. Kane Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Pulaski Association Medal, awarded to firefighter Andrew Kelly of Ladder Company 147, the Pride of Flatbush. At 15:19 hours on May 20th, 2016, Ladder Company 147 received a phone alarm for a fire in a private dwelling. Firefighter Andrew Kelly was assigned the irons position. Upon arrival, heavy smoke was showing. Ladder 147's inside team began forcing multiple doors to gain access to the fire building. Immediately after forcing the fire apartment door, the conditions changed and the inside team was confronted with high heat and zero visibility. The fire was advancing rapidly to the right, to their right in the living room. Firefighter Kelly made an aggressive search of the fire area while the can firefighter held back the flames with the extinguisher. As firefighter Kelly made his way to the back of the apartment, he heard a faint noise in the kitchen. With conditions worsening and the protective hose line not yet in place, firefighter Kelly crawled past the fire toward the noise to reach the trapped occupant. He made his way through the kitchen to the eating area and found an unconscious female wedged between the table and the wall on the far side of the apartment. Firefighter Kelly immediately notified his officer of the 1045 and requested help in removing the woman. With conditions worsening, firefighter Kelly started the removal of the elderly female to the public hallway by himself. As he made his way through the kitchen and into the living room, he was met by the now advancing and most welcome hose line into the fire area. The inside team carried the victim outside of the fire building to EMS personnel for medical treatment and transportation to the hospital. Firefighter Kelly exhibited exceptional bravery in conjunction with the driving personal initiative in passing fire and aggressively searching a fire apartment without the protection of a hose line. His skill and determination led to the survival of an elderly woman. His rescue actions were the highest traditions of the FDNY. It is with great pride that the fire department bestows the Pulaski Association Medal upon firefighter Andrew Kelly in recognition of valor. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Commissioner Edward Thompson Medal, awarded to firefighter Sean T. Cosgrove, Ladder Company 163, the Pride of Woodside. On October 7, 2016, at 0451 hours, Engine 325 and Ladder 163 were assigned first due to a reported fire in a 6-story H-type, non-fireproof multiple dwelling in the Sunnyside section of Queens. When the companies arrived, civilians informed members that the fire was on the top floor. When the inside team of Ladder 163 reached the 6th floor, firefighter Sean T. Cosgrove, the Cannon firefighter, located the fire apartment by feeling the high heat radiating and observing the smoke seeping from the door of the fire department. The officer transmitted the 1075 and the truck members began to force the apartment door, which was locked and fully closed. Once the door was fully open, the inside team was met with the main body of fire, which was located in the living room and the vestibule. Engine 325 was in the process of stretching the hose line. Firefighter Cosgrove used the cam on the fire, which enabled him and the captain to crawl past the fire and begin their search. The Irons firefighter was ordered to maintain door control and monitor the conditions. After passing the fire, extending from the living room and rolling over him, firefighter Cosgrove conducted a left-handed search that led him down a long hallway to the rear of the apartment. While searching in high heat and zero visibility, the firefighter located an unconscious woman on the floor between the bedroom and the bathroom, transmitted to 1045, and requested assistance and began to remove the victim by dragging her. The other members of the inside team met up with him as engine 325 was beginning to extinguish the fire. The two firefighters removed the victim from the apartment and into the public hallway. Firefighter Cosgrove began to perform CPR on the unresponsive women. He and the captain continued to perform CPR as they moved the victim to the elevator. Once in the lobby, they placed her in the Stokes basket, moved to an ambulance, and transported her to the hospital. Thanks to the actions of firefighter Cosgrove, the victim is alive today. In recognition of his bravery in passing fire, locating a victim, and assisting in the woman's removal, firefighter Sean T. Cosgrove, ladder 163, is honored by the FDNY with the Commissioner Edward Thompson Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Columbia Association Medal, awarded to firefighter Sean W. Colner, ladder company 167, the Patriots. On a brisk December 8, 2016 morning, firefighter Sean W. Colner, ladder 167, once again proved that the FDNY members are truly New York's bravest. At 0440 hours, ladder 167 was dispatched to the report of a fire in a multiple dwelling in the Flushing section of Queens. When ladder 167 arrived at the building, the members observed not only the fire from the fourth floor window of the six-story structure, but also an overcrowding of the fire escapes with occupants attempting to evacuate. Firefighter Colner, assigned the forcible entry position, knew that as the second due truck on the scene, he would have the arduous task of operating directly above the already advanced fire. When the inside team of ladder 167 arrived at the apartment directly above the fire, firefighter Colner checked the door for heat and began forcing the fortified apartment door. Once ladder 167 entered the apartment, members were met by extreme heat emanating from the kitchen and living room directly to their left. The officer, using his thermal imaging camera, confirmed that the fire had auto exposed to the kitchen and living room. The canned firefighter began discharging water from his 2.5-gallon extinguisher. Firefighter Colner was familiar with the layout of this type of apartment. From his 9 years of serving the city, he instinctively knew the wall on his right side would lead directly to a rear bedroom. The time of day and the difficulty of forcing the apartment door led firefighter Colner to believe that someone needed help. The fire and smoke made it difficult to access the rear bedroom. Complicating the situation, the firefighter encountered heavy clutter in the apartment. The 3-foot-wide hallway was barely large enough for the firefighter to maneuver. With furniture and boxes stacked precariously throughout, he made it almost 30 feet to the rear bedroom. The firefighter felt the foot of the occupant. After moving boxes and papers in the cluttered room, he vaguely deciphered the body of an elderly woman. The firefighter quickly transmitted to 1045 and advised the command post that he was moving the victim down the interior stairs. In recognition of his determination and courage, firefighter Sean W. Kellner is honored today with the Columbia Association Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Susan Wagner Medal, awarded to firefighter Christopher J. Riley of Ladder Company 58, the Vice Guys. Late in the evening of April 5th, 2016, Ladder 58 received a ticket for a first due phone alarm to Bronx Box 2971 for a report of a fire. On arrival at this 5-story multiple dwelling, the urgency was magnified by numerous frantically waving citizens who informed the officer that a disabled occupant was trapped in apartment N1 on the first floor. The inside team entered the building. A banked down smoke condition was encountered in the first floor public hallway. The source quickly was found to be the open door to the apartment N1. Closing the door to contain the fire, the officer transmitted a 1075 and informed Battalion 18 regarding the report of a person trapped in the rear bedroom. With their face pieces donned, the inside team entered the apartment. Although visibility was nearly zero, the extreme difficulty members would have in searching the apartment was apparent immediately. Enormous amounts of debris was stacked and piled everywhere. Despite this challenge, the inside team members were able to make their way to the closed door of the rear bedroom. Opening this door, they were hit instantly with a wave of high heat and saw the unmistakable glow of fire to the left. Firefighter Watts fought the extending fire with his can. As Lieutenant Bowman searched to the left, Firefighter Riley searched to the right and into the bedroom. Although debris was piled everywhere and visibility was down to zero, the pair found and searched the now burning bed. But the disabled occupant was not there. With the sweeping and expanding search through the obstacles of burning debris, Firefighter Watts informed Lieutenant Bowman that his water can was depleted. Simultaneously, Firefighter Riley located the missing occupant squeezed into the tight space between the wall and the bed. With the hose line not yet in place and the can depleted, the fire was expanding unchecked. Nonetheless, Firefighter Riley was able to drag the unconscious occupant along with some of the clutter through the flame, chugging black smoke toward the bedroom door. Here, Lieutenant Bowman and Firefighter Watts assisted the extrication of the victim from the debris. Were it not for the aggressive and tenaciousness that Firefighter Riley showed in searching for, finding, and removing this victim, the outcome certainly would have been much different. For his brave actions under extreme conditions, Firefighter Christopher J. Riley is awarded the Susan Wagner Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Steuben Association Medal, awarded to Firefighter Michael J. Patwell, Ladder Company 44, the Untouchables. Ladder Company 44 was assigned second due truck to a reported fire in a multiple dwelling on November 28, 2016. Bronx, box 2388. Upon arrival, the officer observed heavy smoke pulsating from two windows on the second floor of the building. Firefighter Christian Daly radioed Captain Luisi the fire was blowtorching out one large window in the rear and threatening to auto-expose into the third floor. Entering the apartment in blackout conditions, Firefighter Michael J. Patwell, with the can, made his way towards the rear of the apartment. In his search, he discovered the motionless body of an adult male. Firefighter Patwell immediately transmitted a 1045 via radio. Firefighter Patwell could feel the heat through his bunker gear and knew the victim would not survive these conditions. He put himself in between the victim and the fire apartment door as he descended the stairs. While going down the stairs, Firefighter Patwell lost his footing and fell down 6 steps to the landing. He was faced with moving the unconscious victim down 2 more flights of stairs while in severe pain from his fall. Faced with this daunting task, Firefighter Patwell nevertheless maintained his grip on the victim, moving him down past the fire apartment and down into the lobby. Faced with a high heat condition due to both the fire and the victim's apartment doors left open, Firefighter Patwell passed the fire apartment and crawled deep into the victim's premises to search. The firefighter's perseverance paid off as he saved the trapped man from certain death. For his actions, Firefighter Michael J. Patwell is issued the Steuben Association Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Chief James Scullion Medal, awarded to EMT Monique M. Wilson of Station 43, the Funhouse. On the evening of September 4, 2016 in Coney Island, EMTs Monique M. Wilson and Maxim Furman were on duty, ready to brave the brunt of the storm. They responded to a call on the beach. When they arrived, they noticed that no lifeguards were on duty and the entire beach was cordoned off with rope. tied from each lifeguard tower to another, carrying all of their life-saving equipment. EMTs Wilson and Furman trekked through the windswept sand toward the waterfront. They came within several feet of surf when they heard bystanders screaming and motioning toward the ocean. They saw two men exit the water, yelling, "My brother is in the water." That's when they spotted a single hand rise out of the unrelenting waves and go back down under the water as the man floated further and further out to sea. Recognized the man faced imminent danger, EMT Wilson sprang into action. She slipped off her boots, ran into the water, dove in, and swam to the victim. With monumental strength, she grabbed the victim and maneuvered the panicked person's body so she could hold and keep his head above water. While remaining calm and focused, EMT Wilson carefully gauged the tide, using each wave to assist her in moving the near-drowning victim toward safety. Meanwhile, EMT Furman cut one of the ropes from a leg of the lifeguard tower, walked knee-deep into the water, and threw the rope in the direction of his partner. EMT Wilson grabbed the rope, and EMT Furman pulled both rescuer and victim closer until he was able to grab the victim's arm and assist both onto land. The pair of EMTs quickly assessed their patient, who was found to be in stable condition. With her actions, EMT Wilson defined selfless heroism and bravery. She put another human being's life before her own when she dove into the water and rescued a potential drowning victim from the unforgiving waters off Coney Island Beach. For her extraordinary efforts and courage, EMT Monique M. Wilson is awarded the James Scullion Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Dr. J.W. Goldenkrantz Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Michael Urso, Ladder Company 30, the Harlem Zoo. In the early hours of September 30th, 2016, firefighters at 30 truck, led by Lieutenant Michael Urso, were crawling down a smoky hallway on the third floor of a multiple dwelling. They had to make their way down a 100-foot hallway to the fire apartment, where all indications pointed to heavy fire. Once the door to the fire apartment was open, the inside team was met with high heat and zero visibility. Lieutenant Urso conferred with the officer of Engine 59 and was advised, due to the long stretch, members were hooking up and connecting their lengths. Lieutenant Urso's experience told him that a locked door at this time of day and this type of occupancy meant a possible victim inside. The inside team entered to find the fire and search for life. Lieutenant Urso and his firefighters began to systematically search the fire apartment without the protection of a hose line. Searching to the left, Lieutenant Urso continued on in zero visibility, with the heat intensifying deeper into the apartment. Pressing on, he entered the immediate fire area for a quick search. The heat was quickly becoming unbearable, but a moment later, approximately 8 to 10 feet into the room, he felt dark, came across a bedroom door in which the main body of fire was located, and located an unconscious elderly female. She was twisted up in the bed sheets and a blanket. Time was critical if she was to survive. He communicated the fire location to Engine 59 and began removal. Lieutenant Urso's actions were an act of bravery under the worst of fire conditions. He pushed himself to the limits to pull the victim from danger. The woman had no chance of survival without Lieutenant Urso. His exemplary actions are consistent with the finest traditions of the FDNY and Ladder 30. For these reasons, Lieutenant Michael Urso is awarded the Dr. J.W. Goldenkrantz Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Uniform Fire Officers Association Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Sean L. Mannion, Ladder Company 32, the Gun Hill Gang. Just after 2,000 hours on the night tour of January 18, 2016, Bronx Fire Communications assigned units to Bronx Box 3467, located in the Allerton section of the Bronx. Engine 62 and Ladder 32, the Gun Hill Gang, were assigned first to and advised they were responding to a reported fire in a multiple dwelling From a half block away, engine 62 transmitted to 1075 for a fire blowing out the third floor windows of the 6-story occupied multiple dwelling. In the doorway of the bedroom, Lieutenant Mannion came across a motionless body and immediately transmitted to 1045. He attempted to pull the victim out of the room, which was fully involved in fire, but they were caught on the doorframe. Realizing the victim was getting seriously burnt by the intense flames and that he needed to close the door to the bedroom, the officer climbed over the woman in order to free her for removal. With his back toward the fire, he was able to remove the victim from the doorway and began moving her down the hallway toward the apartment door. While moving the woman, Lieutenant Mannion was met by his inside team, who assisted with the victim's removal. At this time, the fire was burning through the bedroom door and extending into the main foyer of the apartment. So the lieutenant directed firefighter Taylor to hold back the fire with his can so he and firefighter Doyle could finish removing the woman to the public hallway. As noted by Battalion 27 in its report, his aggressive actions to quickly advance to the fire room under high heat and zero visibility without the protection of a handline undoubtedly saved the victim's life. Due to the bravery that evening, a resident of New York City is alive today, and is why Lieutenant Sean L. Mannion is awarded the Uniformed Fire Officers Association Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Edith B. Goldman Medal, awarded to firefighter Justin J. Banez, Engine Company 46, the Cross Bronx Express, detailed to Ladder Company 55. Firefighter Banez had no fewer than 2 years on the job when he found himself on November 10, 2015, assigned to Engine 46, detailed for the night tour to Ladder Company 55, where Lieutenant William Olson assigned him the can firefighter position. At 04:35 hours, Lieutenant 55 was assigned first due with Engine 50 to the Bronx Box 2342 for reported fire on the third floor of a multiple dwelling. Lieutenant Olson with Ladder 55's inside team entered the building and climbed the stairwell to the third floor, where a smoke condition was encountered in the public hallway. This information was immediately radioed to Engine 50. The 1075 was transmitted, and Engine 50 members stretched the line, inch and three-quarter hose line into the fire building. Ladder 55's inside team masked up and searched down the hallway, finding smoke pushing out under pressure around a locked door. Firefighter Banez began a search of the burning apartment with embers falling around them in the thick gray smoke. They made their way along the wall, searching from hall to bathroom to the rear bedroom. Firefighter Banez heard a gurgling noise. Disregarding his own safety, he moved into an adjacent bedroom towards the sound. With fire behind him, the firefighter listened and closely searched through the zero visibility, finding an unresponsive victim wedged between the bed and the wall. Muscling the victim from out behind the bed, firefighter Banez called out to the lieutenant, 1045. The firefighter kept his head and acted courageously under dangerous circumstances. Otherwise, as reported at the scene, the victim would not have survived in the apartment, even for a few seconds longer. For his bravery, firefighter Justin J. Banez is presented with the Edith B. Goldman Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the American Legion Fire Department Post 930 Mark M. Wolfeld Memorial Medal, awarded to firefighter Gregory G. Santangelo of Ladder Company 153, the Avenue U Watchdogs. On May 2nd, 2016, the Brooklyn Communication Office transmitted Box 3286 at approximately 01:30 hours for a fire reported in a 3-story mixed occupancy building. Ladder 153 was assigned as a second due truck, and while responding, the first arriving companies gave a 1075 for a heavy fire with possible extension to the exposure. When ladder 153 arrived, firefighter Santangelo, the chauffeur, noticed heavy fire issuing from the rear of the original fire building and heavy black smoke issuing from all 3 floors of the fire building and the exposure to the left. After initially positioning the apparatus, firefighter Santangelo got off the rig to size up the overall operations on all floors above when he thought he saw an article of clothing through the smoke. He walked a few feet away and confirmed the initial size-up. Subsequently, he radioed to the outside vent firefighter of a confirmed life hazard in front of the building on the top floor. Firefighter Santangelo tried to reposition the apparatus to use the bucket to remove the victim from the window. He was unable to do so because of the numerous primary and secondary wires blocking the building. As members communicated with the person at the window to remain low in the windowsill, they noticed he was becoming more agitated and started to panic. Firefighter Santangelo and Hansen had no choice but to use the 24-foot extension ladder due to its maneuverability and speed of operation. Firefighter Hansen began to climb the ladder to the 3rd floor with firefighter Santangelo butting the ladder. As he ascended, the fire began to lap out the exterior wall between the 1st and 2nd floor of the original fire building. When firefighter Hansen arrived at the window, he noticed 2 people trapped there. Firefighter Hansen reached the ground with the first victim. Firefighter Santangelo sprang into action and raced up the ladder, passing fire that was in a free-burning state. He began to feel the heat through the smoke and knew time was critical. As conditions were rapidly changing with limited visibility, firefighter Santangelo removed the victim from the window, holding onto the windowsill with one hand. Firefighter Santangelo acted in the finest traditions of the New York City Fire Department, successfully operated under extreme conditions without the benefit of a protective charged hose line. To honor his heroism, the FDNY presents firefighter Gregory G. Santangelo with the American Legion Fire Department Post 930 Mark M. Wolfeld Memorial Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Arthur J. Laufer Memorial Medal, awarded to firefighter Kevin J. Lavelle, Ladder Company 33, the Animal House. On the night tour of August 14, 2016, Engine 75, Ladder 33, received an alarm for box 3152 at 0100 hours. Firefighter Kevin J. Lavelle, working with the forcible entry team, that hot and muggy evening, arrived on scene within 4 minutes. Upon arrival, the members found a 3-story, 20 by 60-foot vacant private dwelling. Civilians were shouting that someone was trapped inside. Firefighter Lavelle was forced to the building's main entrance door, which was showing heavy smoke pushing out from HUD windows. While these windows are effective in securing a building, they are problematic for venting operations during a fire. Firefighter Lavelle found a heavy fire had taken complete possession of the 2nd floor and was spreading to the staircase leading to the 3rd floor. As Engine 75 members began their hose stretch, firefighter Lavelle was able to move past the fire, complete a search of the 2nd floor. With this completed, the forcible entry team was ordered to move up the fire-damaged stairs and search the 3rd floor, moving quickly under heavy heat and smoke conditions due to the HUD windows and without the protection of a charged hose line. Firefighter Lavelle reached the top floor. He went to work searching the space and ventilating the building to give any potential victim a better chance of survival. While conducting the search, the firefighter found an unconscious male in the front bedroom. Firefighter Lavelle knew that moving this victim due to mostly unventilated building would be extremely dangerous. Therefore, firefighter Lavelle removed the HUD window and called for Ladder 33's bucket to be repositioned. As the bucket was being moved, firefighter Lavelle carried the victim over debris into the now open window. He then moved the victim to the bucket with the assistance of the forcible entry team. Firefighter Lavelle then completed a search of the remaining area until relieved by members of Ladder 27. Using damaged stairs, firefighter Lavelle went above the fire to save a man's life. He used studied judgment in removing the victim via a towel ladder instead of the interior stairs. Firefighter Kevin J. Lavelle is honored today with the Arthur J. Laufer Memorial Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Emerald Society Pipes and Drums Medal, awarded to firefighter William M. McGarry, Ladder Company 26, the Fire Factory. While a roof rope operation at a structural fire is always a last resort because of its high level of risk, it is crucial for all FDNY members to be prepared. The operation's success is contingent on many components. In the early morning hours of October 27, 2016, firefighter William M. McGarry was one such component of an extremely dangerous but very successful life-saving roof rope operation. Arriving at Manhattan Box 1219, firefighter McGarry, ladder 26, assigned the roof position, made his way to the roof by way of the attached exposure number 2 building. From the street, visible fire was coming from the roof, so the firefighter carried a roof saw in addition to his regular component of tools. With the initial ladder companies performing the roof operations on the fire building, firefighter McGarry made his way across the exposure 4 building. The fire in the shaft presented a significant possibility of fire entering this building, trapping occupants inside. Firefighter McGarry returned to the top floor via the same fire escape to continue his search and became aware of a trapped occupant in the rear of the original fire building. This building had no rear fire escape and the occupant was threatening to jump. Due to the spreading fire and high heat in the apartment, unable to contact the command due to heavy radio traffic, firefighter McGarry called across to the occupant, calming him and telling him to remain where he was. He then assured the trapped occupant that help was on the way. The firefighter immediately returned to the roof and crossed back to the original fire building to communicate face-to-face with members, informing them of the need for the immediate roof rope operation. Back down the rear fire escape of exposure 4, firefighter McGarry made contact with the trapped occupant as he helped direct lowering the member on the roof. Firefighter McGarry's view was crucial since visibility was above from nearly impossible due to the amount of smoke coming from the rear. The roof rope operation was a resounding success, with the member on the rope reaching the occupant at the window. Both were lowered safely to the ground. After the completion of the roof rope operation, firefighter McGarry entered the top floor of exposure 4 and conducted a systematic search of each floor on the way down. For his quick thinking, bravery, and crucial role as a component in making this dangerous, life-saving roof rope rescue operation a success, firefighter William M. McGarry is honored with the Emerald Society Pipes and Drum Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Company Officers Association Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Thomas C. Dalgish, Engine Company 312, the Hell's Gate Gang. Courage was displayed once again on the morning of April 24, 2016. Lieutenant Thomas G. Dalgish was the officer in charge of Engine 312 for the 6x9 tour. At 0021 hours, the members of Engine 312 turned out for a residential phone alarm at box 7563 Astoria, reporting a fire in a private dwelling. Upon arrival, the members of Engine 312 observed a trapped occupant at the front window of the 3rd floor of a brownstone light private dwelling. The lieutenant told the occupant to remain calm and they would arrive shortly to rescue him. Realizing that the normally assigned first due truck and second due engines were on another box, he knew that he would have to act quickly and decisively. After arriving on the 2nd floor, the lieutenant encountered a light smoke condition and a disoriented elderly man who informed him that his son was trapped in the front bedroom and his wife was trapped in the rear bedroom. The lieutenant led the man to safety and made his way to the 3rd floor, where he encountered heavy fire in the hallway toward the front of the apartment, which had cut off egress from the front and rear. Without the protection of a charged hose line, the lieutenant passed the fire to search the rear of the apartment. When he reached the rear bedroom, he discovered an elderly, disoriented woman panicked and ready to jump out of the 3rd floor window. He promptly pulled her back inside, leading her to the exit past the rapidly expanding fire while shielding her from the flames. After bringing the victim to safety, the lieutenant ordered a hand-line stretch to the 3rd floor to extinguish the fire. This facilitated safe removal of the 3rd victim from the fire building. During the course of the above-mentioned actions, Engine 312 was the only unit on the scene. If not for the bravery and decisive actions of the Lieutenant Dalgish, the victims may have succumbed to the fire. The lieutenant's extraordinary efforts demonstrated precisely how FDNY's constant training guides members' actions and purpose and direction. The FDNY recognized Lieutenant Thomas G. Dalgish, brave, life-saving efforts with the Company Officers Association Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Lieutenant Kirby McElhern Medal, awarded to EMT Niles C. O'Shaughnessy, Station 4, Lower East Side, and EMT Kimberly N. Sharp, the Funhouse, Station 43. Construction is a common sight throughout the city, as are gargantuan cranes and equipment. On Friday, February 5th, 2016, New York City prepared for another round of cold weather, snow, and unusually high winds. At 08:25 hours, strong winter winds caused the 565-foot crane to fall around the Tribeca area. This destruction spans several city blocks. Calls flooded 9/11. With concerns for injured citizens and people trapped in their debris-covered vehicles. Paramedics Niles C. O'Shaughnessy and Kimberly N. Sharp were the first arriving EMS personnel to this devastating scene. Within minutes of their arrival, they provided notification that the triaging was already underway and that a triage post was quickly established. Sharp and O'Shaughnessy quickly began coordination with members from Engine 7. Firefighter Patrick Bauman identified a critically injured victim stuck in a vehicle covered in debris. Firefighter Bauman and O'Shaughnessy worked expeditiously to extricate and treat this individual. Sharp continued providing on-scene triage and coordination with the additional arriving units to assure prompt transport of this critically injured person. Thanks to the coordination, communication, and organization exhibited by O'Shaughnessy and Sharp, while under great mental pressure, this patient was promptly identified and treated and reported with family to the hospital. For the excellence in field communication with their swift actions to remove a victim from a debris-covered vehicle, paramedics Niles C. O'Shaughnessy and Kimberly N. Sharp are awarded the Lieutenant Kirby McElhern Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Chief Joseph B. Martin Medal, awarded to firefighter William P. Felton, Engine Company 310, Snyder Island. On August 13, 2016, firefighter William P. Felton, Engine 310, in Brooklyn, was relaxing and enjoying the last few days of summer with his family at Rockaway Beach. Little did he know that he would be called upon to put his training and bravery to the ultimate test. At approximately 1750 hours, firefighter Felton was alerted by Battalion Chief Michael McGrath of Battalion 47, who was also off duty, that 4 victims were in distress in the Atlantic Ocean near the rock jetties of the Gateway Federal Beach, Queens Box 1480. Chief McGrath instructed firefighter Felton to notify the on-duty lifeguard. Because he was off duty and did not have a department radio, the firefighter ran more than 250 yards down the rock jetty and across the beach until he saw the first lifeguard and was able to sound the alarm. With the on-duty lifeguard notified, firefighter Felton ran back to the scene. Due to the rough surf conditions and a strong riptide, the victims were in desperate need of help. Knowing these conditions would cause serious injury and possibly death, firefighter Felton, disregarding his personal safety, sprang to action and dove into the ocean. He swam towards the victims before rough conditions pulled one of them further out into the sea or onto the rocks. After a few tense minutes, firefighter Felton reached the first victim and without any water rescue equipment, pulled that victim to safety. He then returned back to uncertain waters, again ignoring his personal safety to rescue the other 3 victims. Soon after Engine 329 arrived on scene, and members assisted in the safe removal of all the victims. Fire department commanding officers, as well as witnesses to the rescue, all reported that firefighter Felton's actions reflected initiative, capability, and a selfless act of bravery as he placed himself at risk each and every time he went back into the rough sea to rescue a victim. For his heroism, the fire department recognizes firefighter William P. Felton. For his noble efforts, he is awarded the Chief Joseph B. Martin Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Police Honor Legion Medal, awarded to Captain Matthew R. Hagan of Engine Company 80, the Vinegar Hill Gang. On May 30th, 2016, at 0631 hours, a deep-seated fire in a first-floor commercial occupancy quickly escalated to a second alarm. The firefighters of the 16th Battalion responded to the fire in just 3 minutes. On arrival, members found heavy fire venting through the first floor, roll down gates and auto explosion up the outside of the 6-story non-fireproof building. Engine 80 arrived third due on the initial alarm. Battalion 16 ordered Engine 80 to stretch a hose line to the most severely exposed area, the second floor above the main body of fire. Engine 80's officer, Captain Matthew R. Hagan, ordered his members to stretch an 1 3/4 hand line to that location. Captain Hagan donned his CBA facepiece and proceeded to the floor above the fire. Confronted with heavy smoke and high heat on the second floor, he heard the inside team of Ladder 30 entering an apartment to conduct a primary search. While waiting for his members to stretch a line to this location, Captain Hagan proceeded to check the second apartment. It was during this cursory examination that he heard moans from behind the locked door. Recognized that this known life hazard required immediate action, Captain Hagan forced open the apartment door with only his officer's tool. The apartment he entered was directly above the main body of fire and filled with heavier smoke and more heat than accounted in the hallway. In zero visibility, the captain began a blind search and found a semi-conscious and burned female occupant on the floor. After transmitting a 1045 via handy-talkie, Captain Hagan dragged the victim back through the apartment and through the front door, where he met Engine 80 stretching their hose line. The officer ordered firefighter Malone to remove the victim to the street, where she was subsequently transferred to EMS personnel. If not for the quick and aggressive maneuvers of Captain Hagan and the ensuing fire extinguishment operations of Engine 80's members, the outcome would not have been much different. For his demonstrated decisive actions and firefighting skills, performing in the truest traditions of this department, Captain Matthew R. Hagan is presented with the Police Honor Legion Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Firefighter David J. DeFranco Medal, awarded to firefighter Craig S. Arancio, assigned to Ladder Company 83, the detail to Marine Company 8, the Raritan Bay Raiders. Marine Company 8 was patrolling the lower bay near Hoffman Island, south of the Verrazano Narrows Bridge on July 2nd, 2016, when they picked up a Mayday signal at 10:45 hours from a boat whose passengers were attempting to assist 8 people aboard a sinking vessel near the Roma Shoal. The 34-foot fishing vessel, Karen Ann, was rapidly taking on water, and those on board were forced into the water. As Marine 8 set an immediate course toward Roma Shoal, 5 nautical miles away, firefighter Craig S. Arancio donned a Mustang survival water suit. This would keep him afloat should he need be assigned as a rescue swimmer. Approximately 7 minutes after receiving the Mayday, Marine 8 arrived to find the Karen Ann capsized and completely submerged, as well as a large area of debris and multiple people in the water. Those on the fishing vessel who had transmitted the Mayday were assisting 6 people. All were wearing life jackets onto the deck of their boat. Surveying the area, Marine 8 members saw that 200 yards away, there were 2 more victims in the water, each separated from the other by approximately 50 yards. Determining that the 6 people were being helped aboard the fish vessel were in good hands, Marine Aid concentrated efforts on 2 separated victims. The shoaling in the area of these 2 men were causing waves to swell up and break close together, creating a perilous approach for Marine Aid. With this in mind, Lieutenant Michael Borchik made a decision. He would deploy a rescue swimmer. Firefighter Arancio entered the water without hesitation or delay. The sea that firefighter Arancio swam through had waves in excess of 4 feet, with an unpredictable current and choppy water caused by winds gusting to 20+ miles an hour. Nevertheless, with great determination, he fought through and reached the first of the 2 visibly exhausted victims. Securing the man with a rescue torpedo, firefighter Arancio swam back to Marine Aid with the victim in tow. Immediately after handing off the relieved man to the members aboard the boat, firefighter Arancio set out swimming towards the second victim approximately 50 yards away. Once again, he fought through the same perilous waters and reached the second exhausted man. With the second victim secure, firefighter Arancio swam back with him to Marine Aid. While operating under grueling and dangerous conditions, firefighter Arancio demonstrated expertise and bravery while acting in the finest traditions of the FDNY. In recognition of his actions, firefighter Craig S. Arancio is presented with the Firefighter David J. DeFranco Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Lieutenant James C. Zahn, Lieutenant Peter L. Triano Memorial Medal, awarded to firefighter Michael R. Conicelli of Engine Company 16, the Brave Warriors. On the evening of August 30th, 2016, the members of Engine 16 arrived at Manhattan Box 8473, where they were met by multiple people waving and pointing toward the East River. Quickly approaching the frantically pointing people, Engine 16 moved to the river's edge to assess the situation. 60 feet from the shore, they saw that a fully clothed adult male was losing his struggle to stay afloat in the East River. The assigned water rescue unit was stuck in traffic and not yet on scene, yet it was immediately obvious that the struggling man was floundering in exhaustion. That was enough for firefighter Conicelli to see before taking unhesitating initiative without the benefit of a water rescue suit to prepare for a water entry. There was a strong northbound current to fight as firefighter Conicelli swam so hard toward the victim, who was now face down and going under. With selfless determination, firefighter Conicelli covered the 60 feet, arriving to find that the drowning man had completely submerged and was barely visible below the dark surface of the river. Nonetheless, firefighter Conicelli was able to grab hold of him and turn the victim's face out of the water, then place the barely conscious man between himself and a flotation device. By now, the assigned water rescue unit, Ladder 7, had arrived and secured a FDNY 20-foot straight ladder in place at the edge of the sidewalk down to the river. A member of Ladder 7 entered the river to assist firefighter Conicelli with stabilizing the victim against the ladder. Together, they were able to secure the victim into a rescue harness specifically for water rescue. Members of Engine 16 and Ladder 7 hauled the victim up the ladder to the dry sidewalk, where waiting EMS personnel performed necessary care and transported the patient to the hospital. For his initiative and quickness and action demonstrated under perilous river circumstances, the bravery exhibited in executing this life-saving rescue, firefighter Michael R. Conicelli is awarded the Lieutenant James E. Zahn, Lieutenant Peter L. Triano Memorial Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Deputy Commissioner Christine R. Godek Medal, awarded to Fire Marshal Peter A. Lindell, Jr. from Citywide South Command. On June 2nd, 2016, at 0539 hours, a fire in a large one-story commercial building drew the attention of an alert team of fire marshals and launched a major case investigation into a high-value arson burglary. Firefighters from Engine 158, 157, Ladders 86 and 80, Rescue 5, Hazmat 1, Battalion 2-2 and Division 8 were assigned. The rapid response and aggressive interior attacks soon brought the fire under control. EMS personnel responded and maintained a tactical position to ensure prompt medical attention and hospital transport as needed. 10 firefighters were injured during operations. The Bureau of Fire Investigation dispatched fire marshals from the Citywide South Command, the Special Investigations Unit, and the Special Operations Command. Fire Marshal Peter A. Lindell Jr. was assigned as the lead investigator. Fire Marshal Lindell and his partner, Fire Marshal Zachary Fletcher, conducted a challenging forensic examination of the fire scene that uncovered significant evidence of arson. Fire Marshal Lindell's investigation also determined that the occupancy was specifically targeted due to a large amount of cash known to be kept on the premises. Numerous fires were set in different parts of the building in an effort to destroy and conceal any evidence of the burglary. This is a truly significant investigation brought to a successful conclusion by a highly valued member of the fire department. Fire Marshal Lindell is recognized for his unwavering standard of excellence. He has demonstrated the skill and resourcefulness found only in the most dedicated law enforcement professionals. His actions represent the highest traditions of the Bureau of Fire Investigation and the FDNY. The results of this investigation send forth a powerful message to those individuals whose depraved indifference for life bring great danger and peril to the citizens of New York, as well as to the members of the FDNY. For his dedication to finding the truth and conducting a most successful investigation, Fire Marshal Peter A. Lindell Jr. is presented with the Deputy Commissioner Christine R. Godek Medal. Congratulations. Closer to my mouth. Our next medal is the William Friedberg Medal, awarded to firefighter Gregory Hansen, Ladder Company 153, the Avenue U Watchdogs. Ladder Company 153 received a ticket to respond second due to Box 3286 in the Sheepshead Bay section of Brooklyn on May 2nd, 2016 at 01:26 hours. Upon arrival, Ladder 153 members could see that the fire building was a three-story attached frame, mixed occupancy, with commercial on the first floor and apartments on the second and third floors. Fire was venting from the rear of the address, accompanied by a heavy black smoke pushing from all three floors of both the original fire building as well as the adjoining building on the exposure number 2 side. Firefighter Gregory Hansen, assigned the outside vent position for the 6x9 tour, immediately exited the apparatus and made his way around to the rear of the fire building, where Ladder 169 members had already begun operating. Completing his size up the rear, Firefighter Hansen returned to the front of the building, grabbed a portable ladder. Reaching Ladder 153's apparatus, Firefighter Hansen was told by Ladder 153's chauffeur that there were people at the third floor front window of exposure 2. Firefighter Hansen quickly looked up and observed a person banging on the glass of the third floor window. The ladder company chauffeur told Firefighter Hansen that he was unable to set up the tower ladder due to the overhead electrical wires. Firefighter Hansen continued to the window with the 24-foot portable ladder he had grabbed previously and began setting it up with the ladder company chauffeur. With conditions in the exposure worsening, and also aware that the 24-foot portable ladder would have trouble reaching the third floor window, Firefighter Hansen knew that time was critical and started to ascend the almost vertical ladder. As he climbed up the ladder, fire began venting out the exterior wall between the first and second floors of the exposure, and thick black smoke was now exiting every opening, seriously hindering his ability to see. With the last rung of the ladder barely reaching the window on the third floor, Firefighter Hansen vented the window with his tool, and through the thick smoke, he could now see there were 2 victims lying within the vicinity of the window. He notified the ladder company chauffeur, who was footing the ladder, that 2 victims would be coming down the ladder. Firefighter Hansen reached inside the window and grabbed the first victim and secured the person on the portable ladder. Firefighter Hansen's quick and controlled actions made it possible to remove 2 victims from serious danger or possible demise, upholding the time-honored traditions of the FDNY. For his heroic actions, Firefighter Gregory Hansen is awarded the William Friedberg Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the probationary firefighter Thomas A. Wiley Medal, awarded to probationary firefighter Anthony L. Morrow, Ladder Company 5, the Phoenix. Ladder 5 is designated a water rescue company, and members drill regularly on this kind of rescue. Therefore, it was with textbook accuracy that probationary firefighter Anthony L. Morrow performed his duties on February 19, 2016 at Manhattan Box 0542 for a confirmed person in the river. What he accomplished in saving life that day was done despite 29-degree air temperature, 38-degree water temperature, strong outward current, and choppy conditions. Fighting the rough chop of the river, firefighter Morrow swam towards the victim, now floating face down, 200 feet from the shore. Reaching the victim, firefighter Morrow turned him over to provide an open airway and secured him with the use of a rescue torpedo. Detecting the presence of labored breathing and determining that the victim was indeed viable, firefighter Morrow immediately alerted the members on shore to begin hauling his tether line for retrieval. Even with all the members working together, the operation was difficult and becoming increasingly more problematic due to the choppy water, fatigue caused by extreme cold, and ice forming on the rungs of the ladder, thus hindering its use as a method of removal of the victim from the water. On this frozen February day, FDNY members worked together as components of a life-saving machine. The male patient survived, thanks mainly to a probationary firefighter, Anthony Morrow, who showed that no matter how new a firefighter is, his training, courage, and conviction will lead to success. Firefighter Anthony L. Morrow's bravery is recognized with the probationary firefighter Thomas A. Wiley Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Shelley Rothman Memorial Medal, awarded to Captain Michael E. Sittler, Engine Company 287, the Elmhurst Eagle. Heavy fire on the first and second floor of a 2 1/2-story private dwelling, exposing the homes on both sides with 3 trapped occupants. This scenario is just what the units of Battalion 4-6 faced at 22:28 hours on the night of March 21st, 2016. Arriving second due, Engine Company 287 followed a foot race to the fire building and recognized the lack of hydrants in the immediate vicinity. Radioing his chauffeur to go around the block to find a serviceable hydrant, Engine 287 secured a positive water source, stretched 2 lengths of 3.5-inch hose to supply hose to the first due engine, and backed up Engine 289 on the first attack hose line. Subsequently, Engine 287's team was required to stretch and operate a second hose line to work simultaneously with the first to darken down the fire on the first floor. After helping back that fire, Captain Sittler ordered his company to advance up the interior stairway to the second floor following reports of fire at that location. Leading his team up the open and unenclosed stairs through punishing heat and heavy smoke conditions, Captain Sittler conferred with the second due ladder officer on the location of advancing fire in a rear bedroom. With his engine crew in place to extinguish any visible fire, and knowing that no one had searched the remainder of the second floor yet, Captain Sittler pressed on ahead of the line to search for fire extension. With conditions quickly deteriorating, Captain Sittler came upon a victim in the doorway in the middle bedroom. He gave it 10:45, then Captain Sittler dragged the victim toward the staircase, turning the unconscious victim's body to assist in removal down the stairs. The captain then straddled the victim's torso and protected his head from the blistering heat with his gloved hand. Working in extreme heat and smoke environment, after leaving the relative protection of the company's hose line, Captain Sittler gave the elderly man, who was badly injured, a chance at survival. Regrettably, he did succumb to his injuries. Captain Michael E. Sittler is awarded the Shelley Rothman Memorial Medal in recognition of his undeterred and valiant efforts to save a man's life. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Jack Pinchick Medal, awarded to EMT Dujan A. Roberts. Station 31, the Angels of the City. On the evening of August 2nd, 2016, EMT Dujan A. Roberts was working on 31 Charlie 3. It was a typical summer day in downtown Brooklyn until he received a call for a young woman who was run over by a subway train at the Atlantic Avenue terminal. As most FDNY members know, subway emergencies always pose unique challenges and safety concerns. The information given to the 911 dispatchers was that the young woman had fainted and fell from the platform onto the tracks just as a train had pulled into the station. EMT Roberts arrived on the scene to find the victim trapped underneath the train. The woman had suffered serious injuries. Even though it is very dangerous to crawl underneath the train, EMT Roberts did not hesitate to reach this woman who was in dire need of his help. While beneath the train, EMT Roberts assessed and provided the necessary emergency treatment to the victim. The EMT knew that in order to get her out safely, the train would have to be moved. If the bleeding was not controlled first, his patient would most likely bleed to death. After providing the necessary treatment and bleeding was controlled, additional rescuers were able to safely move the patient to the platform where ALS personnel were waiting. The Jack Pinchek Medal recognized and honors life-saving actions performed by a member of the FDNY Emergency Medical Service. This year's recipient displayed extreme courage and a disregard for personal safety in order to help a critically injured patient. It is for these reasons that the FDNY is proud to present EMT Dujan A. Roberts with the Jack Pinchek Medal. Congratulations. Our next medal is the Lieutenant James Curran, New York Firefighters Burn Center Foundation Medal. That medal is awarded to Engine Company 298, the Hillside Hurricanes. Lieutenant Ralph L. Longo, Ladder 127. Firefighter James A. Branch. Firefighter Hawayne G. DeLissa. Firefighter Ross Dubner. And Firefighter Garrett P. Langdon. Firefighter Eric L. Smith of Ladder 36. On Monday, October 3rd, 2016, at 15:43 hours, Engine 298 received the first two phone alarm reporting a building fire. Leaving quarters, an unidentified unit transmitted at 1075. While en route, Queens dispatchers urged 298 to use caution. The PD was operating at the scene of the barricaded, emotionally disturbed person who was threatening to blow up the building. While responding, Engine 298 was impeded by numerous EMS and police vehicles. Engine 298's officer for the tour, Lieutenant Ralph Longo, from Ladder 127, ordered probationary firefighter Eric L. Smith, who was on a one-week detail from probationary firefighter school, to have all vehicles removed as far as possible from the fire building. Once properly identified, the building address was relayed to Battalion 50. Fire was venting out 2 windows in the front and 4 in the rear. Lieutenant Longo ordered a line to be started to the lobby. 2 minutes later, firefighter Smith found all drivers of the emergency vehicles and had them move. Still, these vehicles made the stretch an arduous task. Engine 298's chauffeur was forced to pass the front of the fire building to permit access for Ladder 127 and hand stretch back to the hydrant. Lieutenant Longo relayed this to his crew, that the fire was located in the B wing, 3rd floor apartment with no well hole. Once firefighter James Branch, Engine 298's novel firefighter, backed up by firefighter Garrett P. Langdon, had sufficient amount of hose on the fire floor landing, water was called for. As Engine 298 made its initial attack, members were met with extreme heat and zero visibility conditions, indicative of an advanced fire. It was later reported that the EDP used gasoline and natural gas as an incendiary device. Witnesses stated the building blew up and the windows blew out. Engine 298's nozzle team continued advancing the line, extinguishing 4 rooms of fire. The transmission was made. We have the main body of fire knocked down in the front of the apartment. An aggressive search was made in the hallway leading to the rear room. Conditions became untenable. Lieutenant Longo decided to breach a rear wall and apply water on the fire as quickly as possible. After water was applied, Engine 298's nozzle team repositioned and finished extinguishing all visible fire. Engine 298 members aggressively met and overcame many challenges operating at an active crime scene with many hazards in an illegally converted H-type apartment. For their outstanding display of teamwork, the members of Engine 298 are recognized with Lieutenant James Curran, New York Firefighters Burn Center Foundation Medal. Congratulations. How are we doing? How are we moving along? Slow? Feel good? Our next medal is the firefighter Thomas R. Elsassa Memorial Medal, awarded to Rescue Company 5, Blue Thunder. Lieutenant Salvatore Civitello. Firefighter Michael S. Burgo, ladder 77. Firefighter Donald A. Dillon Jr. Firefighter Kevon Y. Harper, ladder 176. Firefighter Robert Hosey. And firefighter Christopher P. Mullen. On February 1st, 2016, at 20:51 hours, Rescue 5 was dispatched to a 1075 at Box 4311. En route, members received a report of a fire in a basement of a private dwelling. Upon arrival, Lieutenant Civitello reported in to the incident commander and was ordered to deploy his members to the basement via a secondary stair located in the rear of the garage and locate the fire. Lieutenant Civitello and his firefighters Michael Burgo, Kevon Harper, and Robert Hosey entered the basement from this stairway, while firefighter Chris Mullen made a perimeter search of the building. Entering the basement, members encountered heavy smoke, zero visibility, and a medium heat condition. Firefighters Burgo and Harper initiated a right-handed search, while Lieutenant Civitello and firefighter Hosey went to the left. Lieutenant heard fire crackling ahead and to his left. Firefighter Hosey, searching out in front, radioed Division 8 that he had found the fire and needed a hose line. Firefighter Don Dillon arrived in the rear of the garage and entered the basement. Lieutenant Civitello returned to the stairs and exited the basement to secure a hose line and brief the IC. He also began to survey the exterior perimeter for additional access and ventilation. Firefighter Mullen arrived in the garage after sizing up the rear and met Firefighter Hosey at the base of the stairs. Firefighter Hosey called for the hose line, and Firefighter Mullen met with Engine 162 and assisted them with advancing the line into the basement. The basement in the house is a very large area. Firefighter Burgo was searching along the Exposure 3 wall when he encountered an engine company. He reoriented them and directed them to the fire area. At this time, Engine 168's officer gave a Mayday transmission stating that he was lost in the basement. Firefighter Harper was also searching off the Exposure 3 wall and heard an activated pass alarm. He proceeded toward it. He climbed over a couch and a knee wall and located Engine 168's office. Officer, Lieutenant Civitello heard the Mayday for the missing officer and immediately returned to the garage to re-enter the basement. As he was donning his face piece, he heard an additional radio transmission from another member stating that he was lost and running out of air. In the background, his vibra alert, low air warning could be heard. Firefighter Harper was joined by Firefighter Hosey, and they assisted Engine 168's officer from the basement and to the garage. At this point, yet another Mayday was given by Ladder 82's can man, who stated that he had fallen through the floor and was burning. Firefighter Harper returned to the basement while Firefighter Hosey went to the first floor to assist at the collapsed location, backing up the nozzle firefighter from Squad 1. Lieutenant Civitello directed Firefighter Dillon to the first floor area to verify that Ladder 82 can firefighter was not hung up on the floor. Lieutenant Civitello returned to the basement and heard a vibra alert from a mask and moved towards that location. The lieutenant found a lost member and received a report that Ladder 82 can firefighter was located and being assisted, so we continue to help the member on low air to the garage and safety. The Ladder 82 firefighter was assisted by Firefighter Burgo. Firefighter Burgo heard the firefighter's pass alarm when he was nearing the fire area. Ladder 82 can member was at the entrance area of the utility room. After confirming his identity, company, and condition, Firefighter Burgo was met by Firefighter Harper, and together they assisted the injured firefighter back to the street. For their strong teamwork in effectively assisting several lost and distressed members at a serious basement fire, the above-listed members of Rescue 5 are awarded the Firefighter Thomas R. Elsasser Memorial Medal. Congratulations. Our final medal is the World Trade Center Memorial Medal, awarded to Ladder Company 28, the Harlem Hilton. Captain John P. Gormley, Firefighter Damon S. Alston, Firefighter Daniel M. Ballou, Firefighter Joseph B. McPartland, Firefighter Thomas K. Newbert, and Firefighter John P. Salva. In the late evening hours of January 18, 2016, Ladder 28 responded to Manhattan Box 1524. A 1077 had been given for a compactor fire that had extended from the shaft on numerous floors. Ladder 28 was assigned the search and evacuation duties on the upper floors of the building. There were reports of heavy smoke conditions and people trapped. 28 truck made a quick size up exposure 3 and confirmed the reports. Observing people hanging their heads out of the windows to get fresh air, the members entered the stairway B and made the climb to the 28th floor. Battalion 14 was commanding the upper floor sector and assigned Ladder 28 to search and evacuation duties from floor 28 down to 20. On floor 26, they took note of a door leading to a setback that later served to assist rescued occupants. Reaching floor 27, members encountered a panicked civilian who stated that there was an elderly female down in the hallway. Captain John Gormley split the company and assigned firefighters Newbert, Salva, and Alston to search to the left, while he and firefighters McPartland and Ballou went to the right. Captain Gormley maintained the two-team concept throughout the operation to maximize efficiency of searches, as well as provide for supervision and communication. Proceeding down the hall, they encountered an open apartment door. Just inside, they found a female in severe respiratory distress lying on the floor. The apartment was untenable, so the victim was removed to the stairwell to the outside team, and they removed her to the setback on the 26th floor. She was the first of 4 victims, Ladder 28, rescued at this fire. Captain Gormley requested Sector Command to have an elevator brought to the 26th floor. Ladder 28's inside team continued searching and made their way to the top floor. They were instructed to search floor 26. Ladder 28 was assigned numerous apartments to search. They searched all and forced the doors and searched many others due to the severity of the smoke condition on the upper floor. While conducting search and evacuation duties on the 24th floor, Captain Gormley looked out a window to assess conditions on the exterior of the building. He noticed someone's head and arm out the window slumped over the child guard on the floor below. Captain Gormley took the inside team to floor 23 and had the door forced to the apartment, where he observed the individual hanging outside of the window. Due to the heavy smoke conditions, the captain had his outside team force the doors at that end of that hallway. With smoke down to the floor, Captain Gormley and firefighters Ballou and McPartland searched the apartment. Firefighter Ballou quickly located a female victim at the window. She was unresponsive and required the teamwork of both firefighters to remove her from the apartment. Captain Gormley continued to search and located an additional victim who was in a state of panic and refused to let go of the child gate. Captain Gormley forcefully removed them from the apartment and into the evacuation stairs. Meanwhile, the outside team was searching the adjacent apartment. Firefighter Newbert located a victim who also found a way to the window. Under a heavy smoke condition, firefighters Newbert and Salbert, assisted by firefighter Alston, removed the victim to the evacuation stairway. The members of the Ladder 28 continued their search and evacuation duties down to the 20th floor. For their demonstrated coordination, communication, and individual bravery in rescuing 4 victims and assisting many others, the above-listed members of Ladder 28 are recognized with the World Trade Center Memorial Medal. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for all of this year's medal winners? Will everyone please rise or remain standing for the benediction by FDNY Chaplain, Reverend Stephen Harding.
Almighty God, we give you thanks for those who we honor this day. We thank you for their skill, for their commitment to serve others, for their courage, and for their bravery. Thank you for these men and women who, having given of their best, inspire us to do our best. Bless you, who we honor. Bless you for your courage and for your goodness. Bless your companies who supported you in your actions. Bless those who formed you and taught you your vocation. Bless your families who love you. And bless the people who, through your actions, have a second chance to live. Bless all of us who are here. Bless those who are working this day. And I ask God's continued blessing on the New York City Fire Department. And all this I ask in your name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Mayor, the Fire Commissioner, Chief of Department, and the other members of our executive staff, thank you for joining us at today's Medal Day ceremony. Before we end, we would like to take a group photo of the medalists with the Mayor, the Fire Commissioner, and the Chief of Department. If the medalists would please rise and remain in your seats while the Fire Department photographer organizes the photo. Everyone else, enjoy the rest of your day. Congratulations.
Stay up.